If she decides to get down, she's going to step on your keyboard.
I ain't worried. I'll move it.
All right, here we are. We're live. Hey, everybody. This is the Fake Nerd Podcast, Quarantine Cast. And Sparks, you were supposed to intro this one, so I'm lost.
Oh, no.
Oh, I am?
Quick, think of it real fast. No ads. Go. Bam.
I wasn't ready.
Do it now.
I
Go.
didn't even know we... welcome. I don't know the number.
It's 184. 184?
It's 225. It's our 15th week in the Dome.
I don't know what days are.
And you know, we're chilling.
Like villains.
It's all good.
Yeah. This is 185.
This is a mess. Welcome to Fake Nerd Podcast. I wish Brandon had given me a heads up, so I guess I'm here with him as well. I'm also with Ben Magnet and Ryan Eliopoulos. I'm Sparks Whitty. Welcome to Fake Nerd Podcast.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I have to deal with a dog trying to hump a cat.
Oh, Jesus.
You were getting crazy. Don't do that. All right, cool.
That got pornographic.
That got...
It is the weekend. It's the Lord's Day. Make more mutants.
That's true. All right, how are you guys doing? This is our second week. Safe for second full week.
Second week in quarantine, or under the dome, as Sparks said.
Oh, Stephen King. You all know all about it, right?
It's our second episode of the Corona Saga.
Then you brought it up.
I didn't realize it. I shouldn't have said it. I hate everything now.
It's just a Freudian slip. Stephen's always on the mind.
It's true.
Then it's okay to be a stand for the stand.
That's pretty good.
What?
This has been the 185th episode of the Fake Nerd Podcast. See you later, guys.
Please.
Is that the actual number? It's 185?
185, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. What'd you do this week, Ben?
Ben, why don't you go first?
Yeah, actually, I did quite a bit this week. And this time, Brandon, I actually wrote it down.
Me too.
Yeah, see, look, stuff I did this week.
Just put that up.
One of us left who still goes to work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have one of those few people who still has to go to work.
Ben, you know what that means? That means you're essential.
We're not.
So I've heard.
I'm worthless.
We're useless. You're essential.
And all three of you mean so much to me. You are not useless.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Yeah. So
go F yourself.
Nah, F you, because guess what, Brandon? I finished Castlevania. All of it.
Yeah.
All of Castlevania is done. Last week when we were done with our episode, I binge watched all of season 2. Fanny and I watched all of season 3 together. Castlevania is effing dope. That is just rad as hell. I freaking love it. And I want to say things, but I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. But it's good. It's good.
Bill Nighy's character is awesome.
Bill Nighy's character is effing great. He is.
What's his name? Saint Germain.
Saint Germain. Yeah. Not Saint Germain like I thought it was, but Saint Germain. But that's freaking awesome. Yeah. Besides that, I played the Trials of Mana demo. That's for free on the Nintendo Switch right now because the HD remake is coming out later this year, or actually later in April. And I actually really dig it. And one cool thing about the Trials of Mana demo that I like more than a Final Fantasy VII remake demo is that, it's longer. You get a good chunk of the story done. But also, if you make multiple save files on the demo, and when you get the physical or digital version, you can transfer those save files to the main game so you can pick up exactly where you left off. So you don't have to, because I think the demo you could put, because there's a level cap in the demo, which is level 7, and my characters were up to level 5 or 6 when I beat the demo. But I like the fact that you can go from one thing to another, and also I've been playing the original one just to get a little feel for it, and I have to say this is a really good remake for Trials of Mana. I mean, the original one never released in the United States until Collection of Mana came out for the Switch last year. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It's a really fun NES game or Super Nintendo game, but I really like the exploration, the combat of the remake. Even the voice acting is a little but the cool thing is they pretty much took all the dialogue from the original, and people voice acted. It's campy. It's a fun campy. It's not the best, but it's fun.
I gotta say, Ben, when you talk about long demos, that always scares me because a lot of games do that now, where you can play the demo and then you transfer to when you buy the game. But there are some games that give you hey, just play the first part of the game, but then they don't save it. Yeah. So I'm really glad that you don't have to play 2 hours of a game over again.
Yeah, I think because the demo was I think I got an hour and a half out of it. And I was also exploring too. I was trying to find a whole bunch of stuff. But it's only 2 hours and there's a lot of cool stuff to find, which is good. Whereas the Final Fantasy VII one, it's just an hour and you're done, which is fine. You don't have to worry about it. It's like the first hour. I can replay the first hour.
That's what a demo is.
Yeah. But for Trials of Mana, I was like, good on them, because you could also pick multiple characters and play as them and then transfer all that save file over to the game when you get it. And Ryan, you're going to be happy because I started Dark Souls 3 yesterday.
I know, we've talked about it.
Yeah. I didn't know you could play co-op on that game because my brother kept texting me. It's like, hey, let's play co-op with Dark Souls 3. And I finally caved and started playing with him yesterday. Dark Souls 3 is freaking fun. Oh, man. I'm actually really glad I played Jedi Fallen Order before I got into Dark Souls 3 because I knew Fallen Order.
You know what a real Dark Souls game is.
Yeah, I know what a real Dark Souls game is. And it's fun. I really, really enjoy it. I'm liking it. Once we're done here, I'm probably going to call my brother or text him. He lives over in Florida. And be like, hey, you up? Because I want to play some more Dark Souls.
You up?
Yeah.
What's the last boss that you fought? Do you remember?
The last boss I fought was the Curse of Greywood.
Good.
Yeah, we got our asses kicked. It was killing us, so we're gonna farm for souls and try to level up a little bit before we fight him again.
I might re-download it and hop in because I sure love that whole franchise. And I love to play.
Let me know if you'd re-download tonight. Let me know. We could get some co-oping in. Also, I started watching Tiger King last night on Netflix.
Oh yeah, we need to see that. We better watch that.
I'm like 3 episodes in. We stopped at episode 4 because Faye and I need to do a Ring Fit adventure, and holy shit.
Ben, there's not a single person on that show that's not batshit fucking crazy.
No.
Every single person on that show could have their own television reality show about them. That's what makes Tiger King so good, because I also watched the entire thing, but you go first. I
haven't finished it, but I freaking love that meme, Ryan. You posted of Radio Killed the Video Star, or Video Killed the Radio Star.
God, you guys have to watch it. Like it's go ahead, sorry.
The thing about the show is that you think, like, obviously it's it's a documentary, so there's no such thing as a good guy or bad guy. There's no antagonist, protagonist. I mean, you see some people who are into some messed up things, but as like time goes on, you think, oh, maybe this person's not that bad, and then surprise, they're actually horrible.
Every single person.
That's literally
what's so good about the show is, like, if like one episode will follow somebody, right, that you don't know a lot about, and you reveal everything about them, and then it's like, oh, this person's a piece of shit, and then the next episode you learn that your hero is a piece of shit, and then you learn that your villain is a piece of shit, and then all the cops involved are pieces of shit, and I'm just like, this is like the most insane crime like saga I've ever seen, and it involves a bunch of tigers. Like, it's like one of those like zeitgeist things, like Bird Box or any of those things, but this is actually excellent. Like, I actually really am invested, and I was so sad when it ended. I mean, at first when I started watching, I'm like, okay, I'll give it like an episode or two, maybe, and then we'll switch to something else. And then once we start, it got us good. It got us really good. So we're like, okay, I actually want to know what happens. Like the whole episode about Carol and her missing husband, the whole entire episode was dedicated to just that bit. Dude, and the whole time I'm watching this going, yeah, it's real good. Yeah. Besides Tiger King, I also watched a little bit more Rebels. A little bit. I watched like 3 episodes or so. Really good. Inquisitor's messing shit up, and it's awesome. And also on Friday before I went to work, myself and Michael Carl sat down with author. Wow, I cannot speak. How much have I had to drink already? Author Rachel Litvin to talk about her second book, Chronicles of Royal High Dragon's Wrath, which I am leaning over to get right now. So we talked about the first 5 chapters, and we're going to do another episode, the next 5 chapters this week. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I had a pretty fulfilling week, to be honest. Yeah.
What does your shirt say? I've been trying to ask you that for like 5 minutes.
It's a jungle out there.
It's Black Panther. Cool. It's Black Panther.
Okay.
It's my pajama shirt, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's okay. Well, you know, this is Comfy Cast.
This is
Quarantine Cast.
Not just Comfy Cast. I'm also drinking. So yeah.
Hey Ben, let me tell you, it's not water in here.
It's water in here. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's exciting.
I do have a water bottle down there, but I'm like, nah. I want to drink some of my booze.
May I go next if you're done, Ben?
Yes, I am done. That's all I did this week.
Hold on a second. Jury, do we allow this? Yeah, okay, Brandon, you can go.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to bring up that we are famous.
We are famous for 7 seconds. That's not fame.
So for those of you who have not been watching,
for 3 days in quarantine.
Yeah.
It's been a slow news week. You can tell because 27, no less than 27 articles were written about our interview from Mark Guggenheim, which is up now. You can listen to it now.
Holy crap.
27 articles
27 articles.
on CBR were written about us and was picked up by no less than 9 different websites.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have them all linked. If you want them all, you can see
No,
them all.
I'm okay. I listened to it.
I listened to the interview, which, by the way, great interview, you guys.
Thank you.
Brandon Sparks, you did an excellent job. Beautiful interview.
I felt so bad for Mark Guggenheim. It was getting so much attention from it. I was like, this didn't happen last time.
Yeah,
did you email him saying, "Hey, sorry about that.
No,
I just want to talk to you about the crossover. I did not expect all this to blow up."
I did
spoiler
tweet
alert,
at him.
this is not the first time this happened to him. It's
Yeah.
guaranteed to happen every single crossover for the last 5 years. Like, he's probably used to it.
I just kind of like saw the first article. I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool that popped up.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I was bummed about is the one that he had to tweet about, which was the most popular one, which is that them talking about nitpicking his description of the original ending and people like just going off the headline to tear it apart. And he's like, okay, yeah, cool. Take it out of context.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's the one. That was the first article that popped up. I was like, oh, dang, they picked up one of our articles. That's really cool. We're quoted in an article that people are going to see. That's awesome. And just to give you guys some background information for the audience, that episode is doing very well for only being up for 3 days. And I thought it was crazy that every day I would go on there and then 3 more and then 2 more and then eventually 10 more for the day. I'm like, when does this stop?
When there's news to be told. When you have a 24-hour news cycle, man, you got to get 30 articles out of every single podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
The exact thing we hate about the clickbait.
We're
article.
the problem.
And you know what? We were picked up by Film Clickbait, which is on Twitter, which is an honor. Thank you, Film Clickbait. Thank you, CBM Cringe, which is a horrible Twitter account, but thank you so much for picking us up.
Yeah.
Honor. That's an honor.
We made it.
We made it, guys. We were on Twitter. We
and
trended on Twitter. Arrow Batman was trending on Twitter.
Wait, we trended on Twitter or Arrow Batman was trending on
No,
Twitter?
Arrow Batman was trending on Twitter. It was insane.
But still, someone cue a Panic at the Disco that Hey Look Ma, I made a song. Someone cue that up.
That was the story we put up when I first saw the article. Because I thought it was like wild. That never happened to us before. It was crazy.
It is pretty cool.
Because we should try to do more interviews.
We should.
Especially now that no one is doing anything.
Yeah. But either way, thank you to Mark for doing it. You know what? Thank you to CBR for that exposure. That is good exposure for us.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody listened to that and is still listening to us, hey, welcome. That's
I love you.
great.
Thank you.
But I do have some other things to mention. I did a lot this week, so as I started to get into a groove, trying to suppress my deep-seated anger towards the situation that we're in.
Yeah. Animal Crossing is saving me from thinking about it.
Yeah. I saw a couple of new things. I saw Scooby-Doo, the new Scooby-Doo Return to the Zombie Island, which was terrible.
Oh.
I was really bummed about that. Because the
did you see
first
this?
movie...
No, but I can't say I'm surprised based on that trailer.
That first movie is awesome. I think it's the best Scooby-Doo animated movie, personally. It's my favorite. So I was super disappointed to watch this one and just not care at all. There's like 3 reveals. It's kind of boring. I thought it ended an hour before it ended.
Oh. That's a shame.
And then I saw the 4th Spy Kids movie.
Game over?
No,
That's
that's 3.
third.
What's 4?
That's the one with Jessica Alba.
No, but what's
Joel
it called?
McHale.
I don't know. What's it called?
Time Stands Still. I don't know. I don't remember.
Time Runs Out? No, that's the Avengers.
Rowena Blanchard.
Die tomorrow.
Yeah. What?
Rowena Blanchard from Girl Meets World. That's the main.
Owen Blanchard.
That's the one. From Girl Meets World, she's in it. She's one of the Spy Kids. I genuinely think the first 3 Spy Kids movies are pretty good.
I don't remember the third one, but those first 2 are good. Yeah.
I remember the third one being it was back. The third one was when the 3D was a big gimmick. Because remember, I was
before Avatar though.
Yeah, it was before Avatar, but 3D. But you could when you're watching it, you could tell that there are some scenes because like some giant gears are flying at you. You're like, oh wow,
three's not as good as 1 and 2.
No,
but I think it's pretty okay.
Although it is funny to see Sylvester Stallone talking to other versions of himself.
It's a game over.
I think the first 3 are pretty good.
Yeah. And to see
certainly
like
the second one. This fourth film is awful. Just awful.
So you just watched bad movies this week?
No, because I started with the bad ones.
Okay.
Because then I watched The Mask of Zorro, which I've been trying to watch for a long time, trying to rewatch for a long time.
Did you watch that Patrick Williams video?
Yes. Which is
Is
why
that
I
what
wanted
inspired you to do it?
Yeah. That movie's still awesome. That movie rules. That is an excellent, excellent movie. That movie holds the F up. I love that movie. Reverse Flash is in it. You know, for those of you not the Harrison Wells Reverse Flash, but the original.
But the actual Eobard.
Eobard Reverse
You know that
Flash.
blonde dude?
Yeah, the blonde dude, Capitan Love. Yeah, that movie is just so awesome. Look, I get it. They whitewash Zorro. They always whitewash Zorro. Anthony Hopkins is not Spanish, nor is Catherine Zeta-Jones. But Antonio Banderas is so damn good in that movie. The fact that they waited...
Hopkins.
I think Hopkins was great in that movie. Absolutely. I didn't mean to say otherwise. The fact that they waited almost 10 years for the sequel is a travesty. Travesty. And that sequel's awful.
Yeah.
I saw it once and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Mask of Zorro? Or
No,
Legend of Zorro?
No, the sequel.
Oh,
Legend of Zorro. Yeah. The Mask of Zorro is an incredible movie. I love that movie. And then I rewatched Fired Up, which holds up, guys. Fired Up holds up.
The governor who's the villain in Mask of Zorro is so good. He's honestly one of the best movie villains.
Raphael?
Yeah.
The governor.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's so good. That movie's just so good. I can rate it. I can listen to the Patrick Willis video. It says it way better than I ever could. But that movie rules.
I never even watched that movie.
And then I watched Fired Up. I showed
F-U.
Zara Fired Up. What's that spell? F-U. Not that way.
Not that way either.
That movie holds up.
Good.
That movie is so funny.
Isn't that Prohibi Nabado?
We watched it on IMDb though, the IMDb streaming service,
Okay.
which is free. It's got ads. The ad breaks are awful. And they cut off the trailers. And the trailers of some of the best jokes are in the trailers of that movie.
Aw.
And that is just too bad.
When we were going to watch Batman Returns, we attempted at first to watch it on some kind of app. I think it was called Filio or something.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were going to have it, and it was free. And we were going to watch it, but we were going to have ads, and the runtime was a whole hour
It was a
longer
3-hour long movie for a 2-hour long movie. That's an
because
hour.
of the ads, and we're like, oh, hell no.
I will pay $4 to get off early.
What happened?
That's awful.
And we had to do that, by the way, we didn't bring this up. We had to do that because DC Universe very quietly removed most of the movies off the DC Universe app.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All of the Batman films, Superman 3 and 4.
Yep. Get ready for HBO Max.
Most things were pulled off of DC Universe a few months ago,
and
very quietly.
And they never announced it. Because I feel like we would have talked about it.
That app lost some cred. That's why we had to turn to Amazon Prime for renting Batman Returns, because we were planning to watch it on the app. Go to DC Universe, it's not there.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That is messed up.
Yes,
That's
that really
so
sucked.
I think that app is going to die in less than a year and get moved to HBO Max in some way. That sucks.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, neither would I.
I mean, if you're going to be paying for that kind of app, you really should have access to all the content. It should have all the movies, including the current live action movies after a certain street date. And it should have the CW shows. I understand that they have a different distribution deal, but that's what should be on a service like that.
Yep.
Yes, agreed. Real quickly, we mentioned our CBR claim to fame. I forgot to mention, in order to find out where else we were, I did go on to We Got This Covered. Have any of you actually gone through We Got This Covered news articles?
No.
Never.
I think I go to there.
What a slum of bullshit.
I'm not surprised.
Every article was just like, Warner Bros. Planning to do a sequel to Harry Potter and scrapping Fantastic Beasts. I was like, no?
Based on what?
Based on what?
That's one of those places that throws out 1,000 theories that could be possible, just in case one does come through.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, we told you.
Right.
Like there's like MCU Cosmic. There are so many of these bullshit clickbait places that like CBR is a little bit better at, but not much.
CBR at least has contacts within the comic book community.
Yes, they actually do interviews and they do regular articles, but it's just fluffed with a bunch of bullshit too.
And at least they actually give credit where credit is due.
But We Got This Covered, man. Just if you want to just like have a good laugh, read some of those articles because they're wild. Anyway, so then I finished a TV show called Episodes on Netflix. There was all on Netflix. Episodes, for those of you who don't know, is Matt LeBlanc's show. That was on Showtime. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I watched the first 2 seasons on DVD years ago. So I started with season 3 and went and finished the whole thing. There's 5 seasons all on Netflix. I really liked it. Matt LeBlanc's really great. The cast is really solid. I enjoyed that show quite a bit.
I have found that I regularly, for some reason, don't go back and finish Showtime shows because I'm a huge fan of Shameless, and I fell off like a couple seasons ago and haven't gone back. Ooh. I was a big fan of Homeland when it started. I dropped off after season 3.
Same.
I really, really like Billions.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back since season 2.
Showtime, you said?
Yeah.
You know what's the one
episodes of
You know what's the
Showtime
one Showtime show that's good all the way through?
Penny Dreadful.
Twin Peaks and Penny Dreadful. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to Penny Dreadful after season 1 either.
That show's real good. That's the one that is real good. And that new season's coming soon?
Twin Peaks only got me all the way through because it was just 1 season on Showtime.
That's true.
Yeah, but Episodes really great. Really enjoyed it. And then I read caught up on a couple of comics. Finally, I finished Undiscovered Country, all 5 issues that are out. That book is awesome.
That book's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, that book's wild.
That is. I love it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that book. For those of you who don't know, it's about like 30 years ago, America closed its borders and just disappeared from the world stage.
They built a giant wall around the entire country, and then were radio silent for 30 years.
Yeah, so nobody knows what's in America. Nobody knows what happened to America until the message comes out. And it's like, hey, we're really proud of it. We're really proud of this country. We got a cure to this plague that's out there right now. So why don't you come in and we'll renegotiate? And like shit goes nuts, guys.
That's a fake message. Shit goes really bad, and it's this awesome like cross country journey through basically a Mad Max America.
Yeah.
Imagine Mad Max, but like it's like Uncle Sam and like Rosie the Riveter and like weird shit. Like it's so inventive.
I won't say, but it's likely 30 years didn't pass in America. It's likely a little bit more.
Yeah, some shit's going. It's so cool, man.
Yeah, Undiscovered Country is a wild book. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Real quick shout out. This is I'm talking about comics. I just remembered. Real quick shout out to Earth 2 Comics for getting this week's comics to me. Even though they were closed, I was able to buy my comics and pick them up, and that was really great of them. A lot of comic book stores. No, well, I'll tell you off air. Officially, it's mail order.
Got it.
But
Comic Madness is the same.
Yeah.
I got my books.
Curbside.
Yep.
Oh, totally. So really happy that I was able to get that. This is the last new comic book day for a while.
Physical comic book day.
Physical comic book day. We'll get into that in the news in a bit. But I was really happy that I was able to pick them up and not leave Earth 2 Comics with my comics for so long.
Same.
Because if you guys can't support your comic book stores, the best thing you can do is buy your pull.
And if you can't do that, then buy gift cards if they have them.
Yes, that's a great alternative. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I finished this last week, but I forgot to bring it up. I caught up on Ascender, which is the sequel to Descender. That book is really great. I talked about Descender a lot, actually in our Fake Nerds Watch series on Star Trek Picard, which just finished. We just recorded our last episode because that's over.
Rip.
Yeah.
That's a me thing.
That's a Ryan thing. We've been here so
long. But Ascender with all its its wild magic and space travel and galactic trips and possibly there's still robots out in the galaxy somewhere, and like it's just such a great read. Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen just deliver a great book every single week. I really love it.
Is it still coming out monthly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, nothing's coming out monthly anymore.
Well, you know what I mean, but like it hasn't hit like its hiatus like Image Book does or anything. Like it's still coming out monthly.
It might have hit a hiatus. I don't know for sure though.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like that book, and I finished Silver Surfer Black. Tradmore, Donny Cates. That is one of the most gorgeous books I've ever read.
Tradmore rules.
Tradmore needs to do more Marvel Cosmic, because holy crap, the stuff in that book blew my mind.
Yeah, that's a cool ass book. Yeah,
that's just a beautiful looking book.
Tradmore drew Luther Strode, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you know
Luther
that.
Strode.
Oh yeah, because
his art has gotten better.
Who wrote Luther Strode again?
Justin Jordan.
Thank you. That's the name I was trying to think of.
Yeah, Silver Surfer Black was so. Some of the stuff they were able to do in Silver Surfer Black, just art wise, is just so crazy and fluid. And there's a sequence where where Norrin talks to Galactus before he becomes Galactus, and some of the reveals in there about, like, you know, he's like, I once went to the planet of the symbiotes and they hated me for some reason, and this is why. And his fight with Null is so awesome, and just this gorgeous book.
The thing about it being a Donny Cates book is that he has a way of tying all his lore that he's made together. So yeah, there is Null the Oblivion King, or Null the whatever his name is, the symbiote god.
The symbiote god, yeah.
Yeah. So like him showing up in there was like a really cool, like, of course he does. Yeah. Donny Cates loves this dude.
And we see like the kind of the origins of Null, like before he was trapped in the symbiote planet. So I really like that book. That was such a gorgeous book. I wish he would do a full series of Silver Surfer with Tradmore, because that would be gorgeous. Ego is in it, and Ego is, it's just the art is honestly the selling point for me when it comes to Silver Surfer Black. It's out of this world.
Literally.
And yeah. And I did mention Star Trek Picard is over. Downright Nerdy Michael Carls and I just recorded our last episode of Fake Nerds Watch Star Trek Picard. Kind of bittersweet, but there will be another season. So there you go. That should be up soon. The first 9 episodes are up now. Thank you, Sparks.
Real quick, because I haven't watched it, but I've read some of what the finale is about, and I've seen that the audience is very split on it. How do you feel about it? Just real quick.
I am very split on it.
Okay, I would see why, because I'm like, interesting thing to do.
There are things that just kind of stop. They just stop. The plot is just like, oh, this is the bad guy. It's done.
Oh.
So it's kind of premature. I really like it for the most part because of something they do in the episode that I won't spoil for those of you who don't. There is something that kind of like redeems the show for me in a way. But ultimately, like, the show was, it doesn't end with as high of a note as I would have liked it to have ended on. I did for the most part like it, I would say.
I'm glad. Good.
Yeah. But it's very similar to Descender. So if you've read Descender, very similar.
So it's like Blade Runner?
It's like I mentioned this before in Fake Nerds Watch, but if you watch Star Trek, generally speaking, Star Trek's influences aren't necessarily easy to pick out. They're there, but generally Star Trek is like the precursor, and not something that takes influence. This show, I very much saw its influences in like Blade Runner, in Descender, whether intentional or not, they were there. There's a species of advanced synthetic aliens that are going to come and liberate the robots. That's the plot of Descender.
Are you watching Westworld? Because we're watching Westworld. That's crazy.
Yeah, in the other side of the galaxy, there's these advanced robotic aliens that are going to come and save all robots from organic life, and that's the plot of Descender. So I was like, does Michael Chabon read Descender? Because like, I think Jeff Lemire's got a case.
Nah, there's similar ideas pop up in sci-fi all the time. This is not an original concept.
No, I know, but I think the influence is there. Yeah. Is what I'm trying to say, and I think that what separates modern Trek from past Trek is that it's more influenced by things that have come than it has been.
Yeah.
And Brandon, speaking of Blade Runner, Fanny finally watched Blade Runner this week.
The first one?
Nice.
Yeah, the first one, the final cut. It's up on Netflix.
Cut?
Final cut.
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Yeah.
How'd she feel about it?
She said it was weird.
Well, yes. I wouldn't say that's a Fanny movie, traditionally. I don't think. Yeah. It's not as good as Transformers 2, of course.
Hi, Comic G-Spot.
Hey, Comic G-Spot.
What's up, brothers? Yay, we got a friend. What's up?
Yeah, we have a friend.
Anyway, so that's all my stuff. A lot this week. We're quarantined, so I'm trying to get into a groove and everything.
Yeah.
Same.
Sure.
Yeah. What about you, Sparks? Ryan, who wants to go next?
Rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit! I'll just go. Okay. I started this week. I'm also finding a groove, Brandon, where I'm watching Netflix shows like on a weekly basis to help me prolong it. So I watch one episode of Altered Carbon every week now, because that's a show that it's gonna last me a couple months, maybe, possibly. That show I've talked about it. It's like it's futuristic. It's very X-Men. People, their bodies aren't their bodies anymore. They have like these AI chips that is their brain. So you can put it into bodies, and I've talked about that before. The coolest aspect of the show is that there's a lot of AI companion friends, and the main character is staying at this hotel that's run by it's called the Raven, and it's a Edgar Allan Poe inspired hotel that's run by AI. And the AI like guardian is Edgar Allan Poe, and he becomes the main character, his partner, and he watches a bunch of old noir detective movies. So there's an AI Edgar Allan Poe detective in this show, and it's the coolest effing thing because the dude is so good at playing Edgar Allan Poe, and he's so like witty and like dark, and it's just like this is a concept. It's just fucking crazy, dude. I love it. I love Altered Carbon so much. A lot of shows I'm watching right now are so X-Men. I'm just like everything that I love is just like crazy and cynical, and it's just like, man, it's a what a world we live in. I watched Tiger King.
Says something else.
We gotta see Color Out of Space.
Yes, that's the Nick Cage Lovecraft movie. I am very excited to see that, my friend. I watched Tiger King. That show is incredible. I won't go into it more, but like honestly, guys, like you should ride the zeitgeist wave while you can because the memes are so good. The conversation is so good. You guys got to learn about Carol Baskin. You just got to learn about her. Hey, you cute kittens. Like, oh my God, you guys, she's crazy.
Does it get better or does it get worse?
Then every episode gets better and better and better.
Okay, that was a bad question to ask. You know what? No, I'll talk to you off air about it because I'm only 4 episodes in or 3 episodes in. We
just
stopped at the 4th
marathon
one.
it, dude. Like, it's so good.
We might finish that when Fanny gets home, and once we're done with this, and once my brother and I are done playing Dark Souls, we might just finish it.
I did it in 2 days just because I was so hooked. Let's see.
Yeah, that is a show. That is oof.
Emma, you're so loud. Can you guys hear that cat meowing?
I can hear it, yeah.
Well, I love it. So every Saturday, Bored and Annoyed and Downright Nerdy do a movie live show that I've been a part of, luckily, for the last couple of weeks. And this week's movie was a 2004 drama called Enduring Love, starring Daniel Craig. And it's about a group of people who experience a harsh trauma, and it kind of brings them together, but in very intense and like psychological, dramatic ways. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's a movie I've never heard of. Have you guys heard of Enduring Love?
Never.
It's not shocking. It's a very small movie, but it's really, really well made. And Daniel Craig is not surprisingly, he's really good in it, but he's very subdued. It's not a Daniel Craig you're used to seeing. That I thought he was really, really good.
What's the coming movie? This week's movie?
It's a movie I got to pick. It's 1975's Rollerball, which is a sci-fi sports movie because the genre we had to pick was sports. So I picked a sci-fi sports movie.
I think you're gonna go Darkman.
That was for a different genre.
Ryan, didn't they remake Rollerball at the late 90s?
Shh, we don't talk about it.
Okay.
That's literally one of the worst remakes of all time.
Okay, good to know.
It's like worse than like sci-fi original movies.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it's that's a commentary, baby. One day.
That's a commentary. We were about to do the Super Mario Bros. Commentary, and then this damn quarantine happened.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Ben. I'll leave the thing that I did a lot with you to you. Because they know how much I already like it. I played so much Animal Crossing this week, guys. It's disgusting. Let me tell you.
There's nothing else to do, Ryan.
What's up?
There's nothing else to do. Play your hearts out, brother.
You know what? That's true. I literally can't do anything. So thank you, Ben. I'm going to play even more now. Who needs sleep? I'm up till 5 in the morning every day.
So am I.
I put up X-Men posters all over my house. I got to hang out with my friend Joey, who's a patron. I went to his island. And it's a lot of fun. I love that game. It's a very relaxing, great quarantine game. Imagine The Sims, the game The Sims, but even less stress. It's just a good time. It's just a good ass time. You're just catching bugs.
I'm back when we had when The Sims 2 was like super popular. If I had my kids and they weren't doing well in school, I would lock them in a 4-walled room
and kill them.
No, and put a bookshelf there and take away the door so that they would have to study until they got better. And so then when their grades went up, they would come out. I'm a horrible dad.
Wow. I mean,
Zara's looking at me horrified.
No, okay. I can't say that because when my brother and I, when we did play The Sims, we had The Sims busting out for the PS2. And just one day for shits and giggles, we, yeah. So for one day for shits and giggles, we had like this huge, my brother's character had a huge house party. All these people were at his house and everyone was in the pool. We took the ladders out. And we made bets to see who would die last, and then we saw the Grim Reaper just like trotting along, like, oh, gotta collect some souls, gotta go get them, and then one by one, people would go, and they would die.
Can you imagine like the Grim Reaper like going to like your house for like the 5th time in a week and like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're working overtime, bro.
It's like we're there's no ladder. We can't get out of the pool. Climb out, you dumb idiots.
Computer simulations, am I right?
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, X-Men books. So a new X-Men book came out this week called Hellions, and it features a bunch of
books came out this week.
Yes, but I mean, sorry, one new one came out is what I mean. Hellions #1 came out, and that is a bunch of not obscure, if you know the X-Men, but like lower tier side villain characters. Most of them, except for Havoc, Alex Summers, who's an X-Man. It's a very fascinating book, and it deals with a bunch of people who are irredeemable, and what do the X-Men do when they're supposed to allow them in and live with them? And it's such an awesome take where, again, like every title of this X launch has something for everyone. And this book is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like Suicide Squad, but like almost like X-Force, but even worse, because X-Force is there to be good. These guys are like, we just don't know what to do with these assholes. Like, we literally don't know what to do. So Mr. Sinister is like, he's like the leader of these guys, and he's just like, holy shit, what can I do? It's so good. Like, honestly, I'd recommend at least picking up issue 1 to see if you like it, because this is an excellent edition that I was not expecting. It's a lot of crazy characters that I'm not familiar with, and that's what I love when I get introduced to characters that I don't know, and I grew to love them, because I want to love every character.
Hold on, let me pull up my poll list. Let me see if I can pick up another X-Men book.
Yeah. A bunch of other X-Men books came out, and they're all good. X-Men's continues to be good. Wolverine is still awesome. Dracula is dope. That's about it. I'm reading a lot of X-Men, or a lot of comics on Marvel Unlimited as well, because I can't go to the shop as much as I should, or I shouldn't leave the house anyway, but, you know, things happen. But that's me. I'm doing a lot of stuff with him, but he'll say it.
Sparkles?
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of Westworld, which I think we brought up last week, and now we're all the way caught up, except for tonight's
new episode.
Yeah, so we're all the way caught up now. That's been something.
Tell me, because they know how I feel about it. I want you.
No, I mean, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It was really nice to get through season 2.
Yeah.
To catch up on season 3. I really like season 2. Season 2 has, I think, up to this point, some of the strongest episodes.
Yeah.
And character,
specifically one episode
character beats
is like a standout episode for just HBO in general.
Stuff that they do with the way that arcs go with James Marsden's character, for example, that I didn't anticipate and I really liked. And the introduction of some new characters and deaths of some characters. And it's really good. We've been making a lot of jokes about how very Hickman X-Men Westworld is.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
It's so heavy, and like, no joke, we watched episode 2 of season 3 yesterday. Yesterday, and I said it on Twitter, but Dolores literally says the line of like, "Your gods are here now," and I'm like, if that's not
your new gods are coming.
Your new gods are coming. I'm like, that's the most Magneto shit I've heard my entire life.
Oh, yeah, I saw that tweet.
And this was a matter of episodes after she talked to another character and said, it's going to take both of us to save our kind, but not as allies, not as friends.
There is literally a Xavier and Magneto duality going on between two characters. And it's like, she's building her robot resistance to destroy the humans, and he's a robot trying to save the humans. And it's just like, what the hell? This is the best X-Men show we have, and it's not even an X-Men show, guys. It's for real.
Jonathan Nolan?
Yeah. Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. They're the co-creators, and man, I like season 2 a lot. I think season 1 is the better season, but like season 3 is like, this is some interesting stuff, man. Like, it's like, spoilers for the season. It's out in the real world. Like, it is totally out in the real world. So we're seeing the future of 100 years from now. You're seeing how real robots are living and like AI, and it's just like, mwah, mwah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about, we wonder how much the concept of spending so much time in the real world was intended and how much they adapted to because of the fires that destroyed
Australia.
Sweetwater. No, here. This was California when they were filming season 3. But we really, really liked it. Much bonding. So Westworld's been real strong. There was one night where Ryan wasn't up to watching Westworld. He wanted to do Animal Crossing or something. Mm-hmm. So Megan and I watched a single episode of The Witcher. So We kind of started The Witcher.
It's happening.
Okay.
And then we haven't gone back. So there you go. Steven Universe Future ended. We watched the finale yesterday, and that was something.
Was it a good ending?
It was a good ending. It's very cathartic in a good way. Steven Universe Future is all about really Steven having to acknowledge that he has been carrying trauma throughout the entire show, that he has been mentally and emotionally traumatized by everything he's been put through throughout the show. And it's a very unique take, because usually when you have a cartoon that is about a child protagonist who has to save the world multiple times, you don't really go into the fact about how many times they come close to death or how many times they have something really important to them either taken away or killed. And that's why Steven Universe Future lands in such a very visceral way. The emotions are very, very mature. It's extremely special, and a strong epilogue to the entire series, which is really nice to have, because there's definitely some complaints, and Rebecca Sugar kind of confirmed as much, that she was being forced to rush the finale of the original series because they were being told that they wouldn't get picked up for more. And so the original series was basically conceptualized as the ending of the show, but as they were doing it, they kept having ideas for a movie, and they kept pitching it to Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network agreed, and they liked the movie, and they said, we'd actually like a show to go with it. And that's how they got the opportunity to make the epilogue that is Steven Universe Future. Anyway, so a lot of people have complained about how the ending of the original series felt a little rushed, and she's even agreed. But there is a moment, a whole episode in Steven Universe Future that kind of puts a different spin on how clean that ending actually was. Okay, which was really nice. I'm almost done watching Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, which remains a great anime. And I've been catching up more on the... I'm almost at the end of Michael Scott's time on The Office for myself. So that's been something. I've had to go back to watching movies for class, because class has reined in and needs more of my attention right now. So I watched Late Spring by Ozu, which is a 1949 Japanese film.
I'm more of a fan of Early Summer.
That's fair. Did you know that's a real movie?
Nope.
Yeah, that's a real movie.
Yeah, I won.
Bakushu.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Castlevania was awesome comic book G-Spot. I finished the whole thing.
Outside of that, I've been spending some time playing Overwatch with some
folks. We've been doing that. I forgot.
Yeah, we have.
We did that.
We did that a little bit today.
We did. We've been killing it in some Overwatch, which has been really nice.
Hey, that game's real good.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Brandon,
wow.
you should pick up Overwatch.
Join us.
With what money?
It's cheap now.
I got you, boo.
It's cheap
Don't
now.
do
You
that
want
to
to play
me.
with us?
Oh,
I got you, boo.
He's got you. He's
Maybe
got you.
We got to move. I still got work to do, even though I'm not working.
Everybody
Maybe.
needs some downtime.
Hey, you're not working at midnight.
Yeah, right. So we've been playing that with a few friends of ours as well. And I also dedicated some time to play the Resident Evil 3 demo.
Mhm.
I played that to death.
Did you play the second one?
No.
That's weird.
But I wanted to play the demo for this.
No, it's cool. It's just weird.
I played that till I died. And then I didn't go back to try and complete
Is Nemesis in the demo?
If he is not before I got killed.
Okay.
I heard he was.
I'm sure he is. I didn't get to him, which says a lot about how well I play. So
We'll get there, comic book G-Spot. It's in the news.
And I gotta double check my list.
No, I want to double check my list.
Right. I've been continuing to slowly catch up because I've been behind on the CW shows. So I've watched a couple of the Legends, and that it's bittersweet because I know Brandon Routh's almost off where I'm at. He is off now.
Man, he seems so sad. He posts so much about that show. He seems so bummed.
Brandon Routh is like half the heart of that show.
Yeah.
So the idea of not having him on is really disruptive and breaking my heart. But the Legends of Tomorrow show is remaining strong. And past that, I don't know that I've done a lot else that I would contribute to here. can't think of anything. Oh, I watched Transformers: Dark of the Moon yesterday. Because Megan and I were trying to pick a movie, and I've been trying to get her through just that one last Transformers film because she's watched the first two, and I was like, "This is the only other one I really want you to see. This is the only other one I really want you to see from the Michael Bay era, and then you never have to touch it again outside of Bumblebee." And we watched it, and I realized that I hadn't watched it in a long time. A lot of what made Dark of the Moon's final act resonate as so good to me has kind of been outdone by Avengers at this point. The original Avengers, because Dark of the Moon came out 1 year before.
Oh, you mean like the big yeah,
battle? I mean like how they do essentially a war in a city.
Oh, yeah.
And like the way they strategize again. And when Dark of the Moon came out, it's like, dang, this is really cool because no film has really done something like this. And then I realized that 1 year later, Avengers did it much better.
There's that. I didn't watch it again, but I know there's that one scene where like Optimus is like rolling through dudes and he's like his swords. He's like cutting dudes. I'm like,
oh, that's so cool.
Hey man, these movies are pretty cool.
Dark of the Moon is pretty good. Yeah. I don't know that I would say it's better than the first one anymore.
Yeah.
But I will say it's definitely like number 2 of the Michael Bay films. It's got a reasonable enough plot. The comedy bits tend to be decent.
I was coming back and forth from my room, and there were definitely moments that I thought were funny when I don't remember thought were funny when I first saw it.
I totally forgot about Alan Tudyk being the right-hand man to John Turturro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the spin-off movie about just those two guys? Because that's all.
I love the scene where they're going to talk to the Russians, the former Russian cosmonauts, and he's like, give me something, whatever. And he's like trying to flip through the Russian dictionary. He opens the door. He's like, "Das Sadanya. That means goodbye." Slam.
Yeah.
And Alan Tudyk's like, "It's an acrylic language. I don't know what it is."
I'd never forgotten the Das Vidanya goodbye bit, but I did forget about the bit where Alan Tudyk like freaks out, grabs guns, and has them pointed at everyone. And they're like, calm down. And then he's like, "I'm sorry, that's the old me."
Yeah.
The fact that he was like having those like that shotgun, he pulls out a Glock and he's just like, "Arr!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
There's some good stuff still in Dark of the Moon.
Shockwave's cool.
I look back on
that
with so much sympathy.
Yes.
Considering like knowing where he was at, and like he's just throwing everything out at the wall because he was in a place, and I respect it. So I did that, and the only other thing I'll plug is I bought quite a few comics that I don't necessarily have right now. Comixology has massive sale, a whole lot going on right now because they know that you're at home, so it's worth it taking a look. They have it in almost every avenue, whether it's there's DC like events, I think, is one of the sales, and then there's the Marvel Teens is a sale, and Dark Horse is having a big one. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of digital sales. So if you're getting digital comics, now's a good time to go check those sales out. Also, the UK website Zavvi, Zavvi, if you want, and their sale has shrunk because they're doing it till they've sold out of the books, is doing 10 graphic novels from DC Comics for $25. And these are the print graphic novels. I'm telling you, like, I looked it up. One of the ones that I ordered is worth just $25 on its own. It will be coming from the UK plus $10 shipping, but I'm still saying 10 print books. So if you check out that sale,
that's like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is hundreds of dollars. That's like $250 right there, give or take.
Yeah. Now again, the sale has shrunk. When it initially started, they had a whole lot there that was like, dang. But if anybody's interested, and it's still up, and I would keep an eye out for Zavvi to still be doing a similar thing in the near future, because I think they're also kind of playing with what quarantine is doing to people. Mm-hmm. So, but that was a huge sale. So just things to plug, things for people to think about, because I picked up quite a few books through those two sales.
I have one more comic I forgot to talk about. It is another X-Men comic book, but it's well, Nightcrawler's great, yes, but the thing for me that I love this week was FF X-Men.
Oh, right.
That came out this week?
Yeah, issue 3 came out. Sorry, Ben, you got it.
I did pick up my books this week. That's the thing, because I didn't know if the store was closed or they weren't closed. And then when I found out they weren't closed, it was too late. I was already at work.
It's up.
The shops.
Dr. Doom is the main character of this issue, of issue 3. You guys know how much I love Dr. Doom. Zdarsky writes one hell of a Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four. I'm on Twitter so much the last couple of days just because what else am I doing? But there's one great quote. So the point of this book is Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic's son, Franklin Richards, is losing his powers, and he thinks Dr. Doom can help him because his dad can't help him, and that's messed up. and Reed feels bad about it. But what are you gonna do? So his son goes to Dr. Doom basically, and Doom is like, I care for these children so much. I'm gonna do what your father can't do because he's a piece of shit. And it's so good. And I'm just, anytime Zdarsky writes a Fantastic Four or Doom, I'm just like, just write the book. Just write Fantastic Four. Just do it.
I thought the book was about Franklin. He's a mutant, so like the X-Men want him on Krakoa.
Yes, but he's losing his powers, and the X-Men want him before he loses his powers. They think they can fix him. Everybody in the world thinks they can fix him, but Reed can't. So Franklin's like, you're not helping me, Dad. I need to go get help from someone because you clearly are inept. And it's really like sad to see like this kid and his dad go through this trauma. Because like Reed, like you guys know him a little bit, like he's a dude who's all about science and sometimes he forgets about his family. There's a great quote from the last issue. It's like, how come Reed can fix everything except me and you, Ben Grimm and Franklin? How come he can fix the world, but he can't fix us? And that's a real statement. And it's like, maybe because he doesn't want to fix you. And I'm like, oh shit, dude. Because like, and I'm like, yeah, this is a tremendous miniseries. One more issue. I'm really bummed that it's over, but I'm loving it. That's it.
But so, I haven't read issue 3, obviously, but the 2 issues of Fantastic Four and X-Men I have read because of Ryan's recommendation. I've fallen in love.
It's truly a great book, man.
It is so good. And
again, you don't have to read any X-Men books or any Fantastic Four books. It gives you everything you need about the situation.
Originally, because when I found out this was going to be a 4-issue miniseries, I figured, I'll just wait for the trade. I'll just get it then. And then I'm like, no, F that. I need to get this now.
No.
And once like Frankenstein's open up, because when I went to the store to buy issue 2, they didn't have the variant cover, like the expanding variant cover.
The good one? The Mark Brooks?
Yeah, so once Frankenstein's, like once this quarantine stuff is over and comic book stores and Frankenstein's open up again, I'm going to go to Frank's. I'm going to try and hunt down that second issue because I want all 4 issues like I'm going to do like essentially what Ryan's going to do with his X-Men wall.
Yeah,
because I have a bunch of Action 1000 variants I want to hang up here, so that way it's not just a blank wall.
Bye, Comic Book G-Spot.
See you, dude.
You're the best.
Thank
you.
And one of them is going to be Fantastic Four and X-Men Fantastic Four because even though I had the first issue, I was like, man, this is going to be a beautiful like connecting cover.
Yeah, dude, those Mark Brooks covers, like he's done like a bunch of covers, and he's gonna do like the Ten of Swords crossover. Like he's doing all those variants too, and like that dude's an exceptional artist. Like he's truly something else.
Oh yeah.
And Zdarsky really should do the Fantastic Four series. He should just slot himself in.
He really should, man.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Sparks.
Comic Book G-Spot, the site is zavvi.com, Zavvi.
/ I'm in the UK.
Don't do that.
No, do it. Who are you gonna trust? I was saying I'm wearing glasses, but he's also wearing glasses. Shit.
All right, shall we get into our news?
Yes.
All right, here's your bread and butter.
Almost an hour in, let's do it.
Here's your bread and butter.
I thought this was gonna be a short episode. Oops.
Welcome to reality.
Welcome to social distancing. We miss each other.
Oh yes.
All right, so we do have some bad news up top. A couple of deaths happened this week, not Corona related, mind you. It was very important to say. Albert Uderzo died this week. He's the co-creator of the French character Asterix, a French comic book Asterix. It's the two Vikings
Yeah,
you've seen them. They're pretty famous.
Them. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that was the community, especially the Night community. They were saluting him because a lot of people. They loved his comics, so hearing that he passed away was a big blow.
Yeah, he died at the age of 92 this year. So good life. Long life.
It's sad that he passed away, but still good long life. And I haven't read those characters, but I know internationally those characters are up there. They're up there, and
they're beloved, like Tintin or Dylan Dog. Like they're beloved international characters that we don't often get exposed to. But I feel like it's important to pay tribute to even these creators.
Definitely.
What's up?
This week, also Stuart Gordon.
This one sucks, you guys.
Yeah, Stuart Gordon died this week at the age of 72. He's the director most known as the director of Reanimator, with Jeffrey Combs. But he is also He is also a writer on ER and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, he's done a lot of Lovecraft movies. My personal favorite isn't Reanimator. It's From Beyond. Who also Jeffrey Combs is in it. Like they make movies together for decades. Stuart Gordon was a very interesting director for the 80s and 90s because he was one of the only people making really great Lovecraft movies. Like he made multiple Lovecraft movies, and he made sequels to from Reanimator like 2 decades after the first one came out. Like that dude was steeped in Lovecraft lore. That's why I loved him. I loved his filmography. Not so much ER, but like good for him for branching out. It's weird that Cthulhu showed up in season 3, but like who am I to judge him, right? No, like 72 it's like right in the middle. Like he's not that young, but he's not too old. But it still sucks because like man, especially as a teenager, this dude was on my like top 10 list because like he makes the craziest like nonsensical like Lovecraft gore movies. I love him.
I've only seen the Reanimator once. I saw it in Jeremy's room years and years and years ago.
Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah. He really liked the movie. He had on DVD. We watched it one night for a movie night, but I don't remember it too well. But I remember liking it.
It's a truly like dark ass comedy. Like it's about reanimating people, but it's also like there. It's like I don't want to spoil anything. There's some really gross stuff. It's so good.
I also just really like Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, Jeffrey Combs is great. Yeah.
We just got back into Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He was one of the villains of Deep Space Nine.
Oh, right on.
He's a really great actor. I really like him whenever he pops up. He was Scarecrow in Batman the Animated Series. Sorry, the New Adventures of Batman. Yeah, the New Adventures of Batman. The hang noose. The hang design for Scarecrow.
That's awesome.
He was in like 3 Star Trek shows as 3 different characters, recurring characters. Obviously, he was in Transformers Prime. He was Ratchet. And tons of movies. The Frighteners. Peter Jackson's The Frighteners. So I like him a lot.
Wait, wasn't he also the Question in Justice League Unlimited?
Yes.
Oh my God, is he really?
No, I remember his voice because I remember watching Ratchet and hearing the voice, and then rewatching Justice League Unlimited. It's like, hey, that's Ratchet from Transformers Prime. So
yes,
now
he is the Question in Justice League Unlimited. And honestly, hey, live action Question. Just saying.
He might be too old now.
It's a no face.
It is true, but that dude's like in his 60s by now. So like he has to be a little younger.
Brandon, what was his name again?
Jeffrey Combs.
Thank you.
But Stuart Gordon was the one we were trying to pay tribute to.
Yes.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Years old. All right, so we do have some coronavirus updates. It seems like... Sorry, what were you say, Sparks?
I was going to mention Mark Bloom. Do you have him?
I don't know this one.
Mark Bloom is a actor from Broadway and then like a character actor on a ton of things. His most famous thing recently would probably be the character of Union Bob on Mozart in the Jungle. I'm not super familiar with a ton of his stuff. You've definitely seen him in passing on several shows. Again, like a common actor who would appear in bit parts. He did pass away at 69 from the coronavirus this week.
Oh, I did not see this. That's
yeah, he was a big character actor. Yeah,
he was a huge character actor. You definitely saw him. He was several voices in Alan Wake, the video game. He's if you look at his filmography, he's in a ton of stuff. You've obviously seen him.
He's one of those guys you're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And he did pass away this week from the coronavirus.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I feel bad. All right, so some coronavirus updates. Seems like the hot news of the month. God, ever since James Bond moved their movie, we haven't stopped talking about it.
March is the longest year of my life.
I forgot it was still March.
Yeah. I'm like, can the March end, please?
I was looking at stuff like May. It was like, oh, we're almost done with April, right?
I was telling, I think Ben was on when I was telling him this while we were playing Overwatch, that people are making jokes and memes. And so like sometimes it really is like, oh, my Facebook status, day 14 of the quarantine. And then there's ones where it's like day 96. And I'm like, honestly, it all sounds true.
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is anymore.
After a while.
I mean, Fanny and I, we're still going to work, so I still know what day it is. But at the same time, other people are like, today is Wednesday? I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, shit.
I generally I know what day it is, but it's like, I'm just like, I just don't sleep regularly at all anymore. Dude.
I know what day it is, but I don't realize how long it's been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if someone tells me, well, it's been 4 weeks, I'd be like, I believe you.
Yeah, I wouldn't look it up. Like, sure, it feels like it.
Sure does feel like it.
Yeah, it's...
Well, we may be in for a much longer haul. Wonder Woman 84 pushed their movie release date from June 5th to August 14th. Now, there was a lot of debate going on whether or not these big tentpole films, such as Black Widow or Wonder Woman or Mulan, would go to a streaming service or a VOD. There are apparently talks happening at Disney whether or not that is a viable option. Nothing's been confirmed. But Warner Brothers has put their foot down and released a statement. We with Paige Akins as the voice of the statement. We made Wonder Woman 1984 for the big screen, and I believe in the power of cinema. In these terrible times, when theater owners are struggling, as so many are, we are excited to redate our film to August 14th, 2020, in a theater near you, and pray for better times for all by then.
Yeah, I think this is the better thing because they're standing behind, like, you're going to want to see these movies when we come out. You should go see them at the movie theaters.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely.
I think this was a good approach, personally.
Yeah.
CW finales have been delayed. Supernatural and The Flash Legacies, those delayed their finales mainly because they haven't filmed them.
Yes.
So they might not even air this year. We don't know.
I mean, they'll probably air this year. We just don't know when this year.
Yeah.
Probably at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Not much. Where else would it be?
We don't know. It's going to be interesting as we go further into this how much later TV seasons are going to get delayed too.
Yeah.
Theme park closures are going to last until at least August 19th.
Yep.
Universal and Disney both released statements saying that they're not opening on April 1st. They're opening April 19th, hopefully.
Disney's Disney's statement was indefinite. They are paying cast members till April 19th. Sorry, April 18th to be specific, because they are going to the end of their pay week, and then they have declared the closure indefinite. They are matching what Universal said for paying cast members, but the deadline of when they will end the closure is not stated.
Oh, I did not notice that.
No, they declared it indefinite because they don't want people hanging on the line anymore to think they're going to open April 18th, because I don't think they believe it. Their statement was made this week. Universal made theirs a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So Disneyland's just came in yesterday, 2 days ago. Sorry, 2 days ago, and yeah, they're not sure. Yeah. They are not setting
and
a
yet
date.
There are still people going to farmers markets. I hope they die. Sports.
We still have to get groceries. Like I go
to farmers market.
Oh, isn't that just like a grocery store?
No,
but with fruits.
It's an outdoor fruit grocery. It's an outdoor fruit like swap meet. You got people touching fruit. You got people out there touching and hugging and shit.
That's literally the same as a grocery store. We're all touching bread and stuff.
I'm saying I can't. I'm not allowed to go to work, and I'm not allowed to see my friends. I hope they die. Anyway,
you don't hope they die.
I'm just saying, if when I go to my grocery store and it's all enclosed where the virus stays inside, I feel like I'd rather go outside where it's more free.
I think the concern with the farmers market is that when it does that, it's packed on the street.
Yes.
So people are like filing down in a smaller avenue rather than having the room in the store to spread out. And it's a lot of like open air hands-on.
So the reason why the farmers market is a little more problematic is because a lot of people can converge, whereas retailers like Costco, they are limiting the amount of people inside their stores at any number of time. Like if you were to go to a Costco today, especially my girlfriend's Costco, there's a line out the door to get in because they're trying to limit how many people can get inside, so they all don't just rush the thing. And this whole social distancing thing that has been essentially mandated gets ignored. Because when the social distancing first came in, a bunch of people were rushing the stores. They were all packed in the store like sardines. Now they're like, okay, we have to keep people separated. We have to keep people spread out. So we'll only allow X amount of people at a time. And when X amount of people leave, they let X amount of people inside.
My grocery store has a sign that's saying, please stay 6 feet away from everyone. We know you have to get groceries, but don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Thank you for justifying my rage, Ben.
Yeah. I don't like vegetables anyway. I don't care about farmers markets. I don't go there.
So we talked a little bit about like 2 weeks ago now. Feels like forever. Some sports are going to take a hit because of this.
Yeah, the opening day was supposed to be on Friday for all of baseball, and that did not happen.
So we talked a lot about how channels are going to suffer from this. ESPN has said that they're going to start airing old Disney sports movies in place of regular sports, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So like
Mighty Ducks. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
They can also. I also expect them to start airing some greatest hits.
They've already started doing that.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. ESPN after the coronavirus hit, when I was still in Arizona, they on the regular ESPN channel they were airing the 1989 Stanley Cup.
Miracle.
That was a miracle. That was 1980.
Bro, I don't know.
Fox is doing something really cool. It's doing virtual NASCAR. So it's like NASCAR drivers are playing like essentially video games of their cars.
That's what sports are doing too.
So that's cool.
So you guys, I know you guys don't care, but I find this freaking hilarious. The mascot for the Los Angeles Kings, he has an Instagram, and he's been taking over the LA Kings Instagram and Twitter feeds. And they have been doing is that they've been playing NHL 2020, like the newest NHL game from EA, and they've been playing the people that are supposed to play during the regular season essentially in a video game. So they put the highlights up like the game actually happened, but it's just them playing a video game.
See,
I feel like I've seen this multiple different sports.
What I was saying is that they're not doing this on the channels yet. Fox is.
Oh, okay.
I think that is the next step, is that more people will start to do that on like ESPN, Fox Sports. Like I think we're going to see more of that.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. It's a fun way to keep people engaged.
Could you imagine if, like, let's say this lasts a while, right? Like, unfortunately, what if like an actual esports for like athletes become esports athletes? Like the Lakers become the virtual Lakers and they play like the Xbox 2K game. That's the season. How fucking cool would that be?
I think LeBron James mentioned that. He's like, let's just play NBA 2K20 and let's just do the season from there.
That would be hilarious and awesome, and everyone would be into it. 100%.
Yeah. So comics had a big week this week. Big news for comics this week.
Oh, Lord.
We talked a little bit up top about how this is the last new comic book day for a little while. And for a lot of publishers, that is not necessarily the case, Ryan. For example, so here's what's happening. Diamond is the sole distributor of comic books, which I found out recently from a fun little story of why that is, which I thought was cool. But Diamond released a statement. Diamond will cease the distribution of new weekly product until there is greater clarity on the progress made towards stemming the spread of this disease, which means that the distributor of comic books will not be distributing to stores for the entire month of April.
And now we have realized why our system sucks and why we need to change it. And this is unfortunate, but maybe it's something that has to happen.
Yes. So I'm going to go by. So in response, a lot of companies have made responses to this. So I'm going to go by company for company, because they've all done something different. IDW, they've got Transformers and Sonic, yes. Will suspend its May releases until further notice. So their April releases are probably already printed and already at the warehouse now. So it's probably unlikely that those are going to. So they can't stop those, but their May releases are going to be suspended. They're going to reduce the amount of comics that are being published through July, so they're not going to publish as many. And they're going to offer full returnability, which honestly is the least that anybody could do. For full returnability. Dynamite. Last week we talked about what they're going to do, but this week they said that they're offering free number ones through Comixology.
That's awesome.
So a lot of their number ones right now, and they will release more, are going to be free on Comixology for the time.
That's good.
Which I think is really cool. Dark Horse is doing what I think. I'm with Dark Horse.
They're the best.
Dark Horse will not offer digital or physical releases until Diamond redistributes comics.
They're just done. They're just done.
They will not publish comic books in any format until Diamond sends them out.
Wow.
Now, the reason why I agree with that is because if you do what DC is going to do, which we'll get to in a minute, the digital landscape will be ahead of the physical landscape, and it causes piracy issues, and it causes a lot of issues. It's not the end of comic books if this happens. I'm not saying that, but it does cause some issues. So I'm with Dark Horse on this one. I think this is a smart move. We're not going to distribute any comic books.
We're just on a hold.
Yes.
Yeah.
They say we will not be releasing any comics digitally that are not also available in print. However, graphic novels and books, because they have Penguin Random House, part of their company, will still distribute because some bookstores like Amazon are still open. So graphic novels and books will still be released. DC Comics took their sweet time to get the statement out.
They released it today, didn't they? Like hours ago.
They released a statement yesterday, and then we got clarity today.
Yeah.
So they took their sweet ass time. DC Comics is released. So basically, what they did was they released a statement that said nothing. It was a whole lot of nothing. It was very frustrating for me to read, but the biggest thing is that they said they're exploring new distribution methods, which I don't necessarily disagree with.
Yeah.
Which obviously means digital, but could mean trying to get print comics into retailers' hands through other means other than Diamond. Hey man, take Diamond off its pedestal.
Hey, I don't know if we're going to talk about it after this, but like Diamond didn't exist before, and we were still getting comics.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they used to self-publish, and then it was too big and it was too much a brain fart for Marvel to deal with, publishing the books and making the books. They're like, hey, we'll make a middleman so we can just focus on creating. But now look where we are because of that.
Well, I'll tell you, because I want to do something with it, so I don't want to say it on the website. The history of Diamond is very fascinating.
I just listened to a podcast about it a little bit.
Did you? Oh, I'd love to hear it. So if you can figure it out, let me know. So they are going to explore the other things, and they are going to release their comics on time digitally. So the April 1st comic books that were supposed to be coming out in print will still be released digitally, which, like I said up top, cost is an issue with print comics and piracy. Not going to kill the industry, no way, but it does cause some issues there. They are going to continue to offer full returnability, which they do anyway.
That's good.
Let's see. There's a statement I want to real quickly put up from the. I want to get this guy's name right. So it is the director of marketing services, Adam Phillips. He posted on the Direct Market Facebook page, which is where a lot of the like industry professionals, such as store owners, can talk about like kind of the grievances of the industry and try to get some answers from publishers. The statement he said here is, here's where we are on digital. All our data shows the digital consumer and the physical consumer are two different audiences. For now, we're going to continue to release digital comics, but we'll revisit this if the pipeline for physical distribution continues to be challenged and disrupted. It's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
Still gets comics in people's hands.
Hmm?
Let's see where here we go. I lost it. Oh no.
Oh no.
I clicked the wrong button. Here we go.
Oopsie doopsie.
We're back. There it is. The Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a really great service to get people writers, kind of their writers and illustrators, creators, their what they deserve. You know, the credit they deserve. Try to help out with like health insurance issues and things like that. It's really good.
They're looking out for the little guy. Yeah.
Right. They have launched a website that will offer tips to readers like us how to support stores during this time, and are trying to figure out ways how they can support stores in other ways financially, which I think is really great. I have a link in the description to their website, so if you want to check that out there. Boom Studios. Boom is a good company. We like them. They are going to offer full returnability, which is rare. They don't necessarily do that. And this is kind of a patch. I'm not crazy about this, but their variant comics that were supposed to be released during conventions will be available to retailers to buy. So
I think that's cool, considering there aren't any cons to be those comics to be sold at. I think that's a nice thing to do. Yeah,
it's kind of like what Funko is doing with all their like the ECC and WonderCon exclusives. They're just putting them up on their store.
Well, it's a little different than that because variant prices can be raised, which gets more money to the retailers.
True.
So whereas the pop figures are just regular pop figures.
Yeah, the price gouging doesn't happen until second market anyway.
Yeah. Black Mask and TKO Comics, these are smaller companies, and these guys, I like what Dark Horse is doing, but I love what these guys are doing.
Black Mask is an awesome company. They have a lot of great books. Yeah.
They have an online store. If you go to their online store, you can type in the description when you're checking out, say that I shop normally at, let's say, Earth 2 Comics for me. They will give 50% of the profits of that book that you just bought from them online to that store.
That's what everyone should be doing.
Wow.
I don't understand how everyone isn't doing this. I really don't.
That is wholeheartedly agree.
That is great.
Like the comic book shops, they shouldn't have to rely on the smallest independent publishers to help them. No, Marvel and DC are the bread and butter of comic book shops. Let's be honest. So like the fact that they're not helping these shops at all in any way really bums me out. It really bums me out.
Yeah, me too.
I guess this is a topic. Like reading comics digitally is it's not a new thing, but it's definitely a generational thing where a lot of our generation doesn't read it. I do because I appreciate it and I know how technologically awesome it could be doing panel reading. You've read some DC Universe. They actually make it really great to read digital comics. So the past of shitty digital comics is gone. There's not an excuse unless you just don't want to read it on your phone, which is acceptable. In this situation, if you can buy a comic and support the person who wrote it, and you just don't want to because you don't want to read it on your phone, I think that's kind of crappy. Like, because you're not like, you can support them. There are ways to support them. You just don't want to, which is fair. But like, hey man, you got to help the people who need it the most, and it's comic book writers and artists. Like, it's not Marvel and DC.
So here's the thing that I don't like about what DC is doing. Again, I said I like what Dark Horse is doing. I think Dark Horse is doing it right. We're just not publishing books. When Diamond distributes again, we will publish again.
I wish everyone did that.
I that's what everyone should be doing, personally. Yeah. I think it's great that that DC and Marvel are publishing, but they have the ability to support their creators during this time that other companies like Black Mask don't.
Yeah.
They can support their creators during this time, and they're just like, we still want that money, so we're just going to still do it. But we'll figure out how to do it, but we're going to do it anyway.
So I agree. I think that overall, I think that the entire industry should just be stopped right now. I think everybody should just stop. I think everything that was like, we were going to release this, April 1st, April, 8th, whatever. All of that should just go. Whenever we reopen the country again is when that stuff just rolls out, and it gives everybody just like a delay.
Yeah.
It's crappy to think about, but I think that's the situation that everything should be in at this point. I think that there's a lot of kind of pretending like this is going to get resolved sooner than a lot of the medical experts are saying it's going to. And I think that overall, just across the nation, there's just a lot of, we don't really know how long this is going to go on because nobody in charge is giving us a definitive answer. They keep just pushing back dates. Fortunately for me, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but like, fortunately for me at my job, they just agreed to extend my pay up to a certain point. And then past that point, I don't know what'll happen, even though I'm not able to go into work. And I know from talking with my union how tough that fight was going, because there's a lot of gears in motion way above our heads, way above my union's heads, way above my managers, all of that about how money's going to get distributed, how long this is going to affect the company, how they want to handle it, that kind of thing. And I think that the same thing applies here, that regardless of, the fact that Marvel and DC should be the people who are doing that to support the creators and everything, are the parent companies willing to do that? Are the parent companies in a place where they're willing to make those kind of money decisions, because they're having to make it across the entire, and even then, I'm not calling them like, big business is bad kind of situation here. There's so much up in the air and so many balls to be tending to. It's very hard to narrow in on who we're taking care of when. Yeah. For all of these people. And I think that the disarray of that only comes further from a sense of having no leadership in our nation about how to tackle this for the industries in general. Whether it's the comic industry, the entertainment industry, all industries, nobody is getting direction. Yeah. There's no one steering the ship. And without that, it's very hard to negotiate how to take care of people. Yep. I agree. And so I'm disappointed that Marvel and DC aren't doing that, but I like that they aren't, in a place where they're doing more, taking more initiative.
Marvel hasn't said anything yet,
but
right?
I feel like their hands are tied.
Yeah. Because Marvel has said something. Sorry, real quick.
Because they can't say anything specific that's going to help the creators. Yeah. Yes. Without approval.
Right. Marvel is offering deep discounts. That's all they're doing.
Right. We talked about that last week. But I mean, like, they can't, it just like in any other point in our time, look how long, just as an example, look how long the stimulus bill had to be talked about on Congress over and over again for them to grant that. Something that should seem really obvious to grant right now. To all Americans. Think about that on just a smaller scale in all of these companies, and them having to haggle and discuss and argue, especially with larger companies, with things that are owned by AT&T or by Disney as a big conglomerate. They have so many different factions they have to look after, and they have to discuss all the different levels of how that's going to ricochet across the entire company. Yeah. And that sucks. It just sucks. But that's why I feel like the best solution is, so just pause. Just stop.
Yes.
Which is why I think Dark Horse is doing the right move.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I honestly, I bet if it's gonna get worse. It's not gonna get any better. Like, we have to get worse before it gets better. So I want to believe in my heart's heart that after it keeps getting worse, everyone will follow Dark. Is it Dark Horse you said that's doing this? Yeah, I bet if it continues like this and it just escalates like it is, everybody will do this, because after a while, if you're making comics that aren't coming out, you're just wasting money.
Yeah.
So the issue with what DC is thinking about doing is releasing the digital books. If people have already read those digital books, that's not going to drive people back into the stores. But the initial statement said, true in some cases, but this could drive the print audience to the digital audience.
They're still making money, though.
That is true. But what I'm saying is the retailers won't. And so the issue with the statement that DC released, and one of the statements that a lot of these companies have released, is that they're always saying that the retailers are the lifeblood of the industry. They are. They're the lifeblood of this industry for as long as they're going to be around. And if you are not doing something to help them, and this digital initiative doesn't do anything to help the retailers, then you are almost dooming the lifeblood of this industry.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
I agree. But I think that we're also still we are in the midway of a decision that's actually being made. This is the half step that they're saying right now, that probably next week when we talk again is going to be different, because the situation will have evolved and they'll have actually conversed and changed minds about it. But I think that I don't think it ultimately will change much, because I don't think a lot of people who are getting pull lists and going to their local comic shops a lot, who are buying the single issues in print, I don't think they're suddenly going to start picking up all the DC digitals, whether it's just because they want to stay loyal to the comic shop and keep getting their pull list as they've planned, or if it's because they don't consider the story that relevant to be following, that they need it right now in the digital form in order to keep up, or it's also just lots of people don't have the money to spare right now. They have to plan for an unknowable future.
Yeah. And
they can't just be throwing out money on digital comics right now.
Yeah.
And when they want to get the print ones, it'd be like, you know what, I'm going to hold off that $4 that costs the exact same till I can get a print edition that also comes with a digital code inside.
Yep.
Right.
I cannot believe digital comics cost the same.
This is the same issue when people were talking about how, just put Wonder Woman 84 on VOD for $50. Like, I'm not spending $50 to rent Wonder Woman 84. I don't know how long I'll have that $50. I'll need that $50 for. There's no way.
Exactly, because a lot of people, because we don't have the guarantee of rent being frozen. We don't have the guarantee of utilities being stopped. It hasn't happened in our state. It hasn't happened nationwide.
My bank account is just draining.
Right.
Everyone's bank account is just draining at this point.
No, Ben, you have a job. I don't.
Oh.
But a lot of people in those situations aren't being tended to, and until all the fires can be put out everywhere, things like this are going to slip through the cracks until it gets to the point where they're like, okay, we have to plug this one up now.
Yeah,
we have to pay actual attention to it, because right now they're just putting band-aids on while they tend to something else.
I'm very active on Twitter, obviously. I say it all the time, but like comics Twitter, I've been following a bunch of people as they talk about the DC thing of they are doing digital, and a lot of the people I follow are not going to buy those books. He's like, I don't read digital comics. I'm not going to pick up Batman number 93 digitally when I have the last 6 issues physically. Like, we're not going to midway through an arc start that. And I agree with that. I wouldn't either. I buy digital books very infrequently, whether it's usually just sales or the last time I bought a digital book was Marvel Legacy. Remember that double-sized like the Rebirth issue?
Yes.
I bought that at midnight because I couldn't wait to read it. That was the last time. And that was 3 years ago.
And I almost never ever buy single issues digitally.
I
almost always go for trades.
Yeah, they're usually cheap.
I'm old school. I hardly get anything digitally unless I don't know. I don't get like stuff digitally. I like holding it in my hands personally.
My biggest thing that I get with digitals and things I look out for on the sales are trade collections that are not in print.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd have to shell out $80 or more to get that book, or I can spend $8 and have it digitally so I can just read it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are some good things that DC is doing right now. There's something that they're doing that I want to highlight that I think is really cool. They're doing something called DC Kids Camp, which is on their Twitter and Instagram page. They're getting a bunch of like their imprint DC kids. A lot of those creators, Leon Yang. I hope I pronounced that right. Gene Yang. the writer of Superhero Girls and Green Lantern Legacy, like those creators are doing like classes for kids on their Instagram and Twitters, and if you can sign up to their newsletter, they'll send you coloring pages and preview pages for comics and things like that. To kind of get kids engaged in this comic book community throughout this time. I think that's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So like there's coloring books and shit like that. I think that's really cool. So let's move on to some good news, some happy news.
We actually have happy news for once.
Yeah, let's get our minds off of the horribleness of our country. Lupin the First has a North American distribution deal.
Ooh.
Yes.
Finally,
but no release date.
No release date. This is G Kids has acquired the North American deal for Lupin the First, which is the full title of the movie. And we'll find out the release date soon, hopefully. But that's cool. I know you guys are excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Like Comic Book G Spot spoiled for us, Castlevania was renewed for a 4th season.
Yes, it was.
Very excited about that. That's really cool.
I mean, after that ending, you kind of need a 4th season.
Yeah. Dragon's Lair, the famous video game Dragon's Lair.
One of the hardest games of all time. It's real hard, and they make it hard, so you waste coins.
Ryan Reynolds is in talks to star in a live-action adaptation coming from Netflix.
Wait, isn't that the game that Don Bluth helped animate?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
It's the game where you just like move like you up, down, left, or right, and it's a hand-drawn animated video game. It's awesome. It's incredibly hard, but it's like it was revolutionary at the time.
No, I've seen
being like a comedy fantasy thing that he's in.
No, before Frankenstein's changed locations, they had a little arcade and they had a Dragon's Lair 20th anniversary cabinet there. I wanted to play it, but I didn't have enough. I didn't have quarters.
The game's super cool. Like, so instead of it telling you like, oh, press A or press B, it'll like your sword will glow for half a second, and you have to hit the button that's the sword button to do the thing. So it looks like an animated movie, and things just light up when you do them. It's really cool, but again, it's super hard and frustrating, and it's one of the most money-hungry games of all time.
So I've heard.
Yeah,
but the
it's cool though.
Gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Ryan Reynolds doing live action. What do we think about that? Like, is it weird to do a live action version? Why not do an animated version?
No, because I could see it because they already have the animated version. That's an animated movie, Brandon.
Oh, I know. I mean, like, but not like in that animation. You can't mimic the style of Don Bluth.
No,
but you can do something like CG animated, something like that. Live action. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I was just kind of like to see.
I want more live action fantasy, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I would think, especially since Ryan Reynolds is really coming into his own as a comedy actor as well, I think that would be really good for him to do a live action.
What do you mean by that? Because he's been a comedian actor for 20 years.
Okay, fine.
He was in Van Wilder.
You're right.
Popular.
Okay. He's been popular for a long time.
No, he means like A-list popular, not B-list popular.
Yeah.
Isn't Deadpool like a huge movie?
That's what he means.
No, that's what
it was on over the past few years when Deadpool hit. Before that, he was B-list.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it. I've been following him for a long time, but I guess he is more popular now.
I mean, before Deadpool really came out and I knew Ryan Reynolds' name, I was like, oh, hey, that's the guy who played Van Wilder. Now I know his name.
I mean, it's true. Before Deadpool, he was just mostly doing rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. He makes great movies.
So real quick correction. We talked last week about Ahsoka Tano being cast for Rosario Dawson being cast in The Mandalorian. It is not for season 3. It is in fact for season 2. Even though they are done filming, the casting announcements are just starting to kind of leak out.
That's always how it happens.
Yeah. Michael Biehn has been cast in season 2 of The Mandalorian as a bounty
hunter. Yeah, I love Michael Biehn.
That's really cool. Michael Biehn, Kyle Reese, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kyle Reese from the first Terminator film. And he's in Aliens. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited for that.
I was about to say, because we said Kyle Reese, I'm like, wait, which one?
He's also in Robert Rodriguez's what's it called? Planet Dread, Planet Terror, that Grindhouse double feature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot. That's really cool. This should be really exciting.
Yeah, he's got like a good hard edge to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I realized I put this in the wrong place. Actually.
Ooh, actually, I thought you had more. Also, remind me the name of the Ahsoka.
Ashley Eckstein.
Ashley Eckstein. She came out about this.
Oh, she did, yes.
Yeah, and I love her response because she's like, yes, I've been playing Ahsoka Tano for like 16 years, but it's never only been me. We have always been a team of people. The writers make Ahsoka, the directors make Ahsoka. It's not just me, so I love passing the character on. And I think that's awesome.
Well, what she also said was kind of like, say there's a rumor out that that's so apparently there is talks, and even she doesn't know if this is true or not, which I thought was really telling.
Yeah.
But I do hold that if there is an Ahsoka Tano TV show coming, it's Ashley Eckstein or no one.
Well, only if it's animated.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It would be animated because I don't think Filoni would want to do a live action Ahsoka series without Ashley Eckstein.
Rebels 2. It's Rebels 2.
Rebels 2 better be animated because I need to have some of those characters look and sound like those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, because Thrawn. Anyway.
I love Thrawn.
I'm not there yet.
So we have some unrelated comic books news. This is the stuff that I thought should have been a little bit earlier. I wanted to bring this up. I thought this was really interesting. Rick Remender recently put out, I guess, a lot of.
He's in quarantine too. He's going through all his old shit. I've looked at every single tweet of his,
and it's really interesting. But one of the things that stuck out was confirmation of something that has been riled on for a long time: a mandated Inhumans storyline.
Yes, that's why he left.
The Inhumans were trying to, the time they were trying to build up the Inhumans. We always kind of knew that was happening. No, not to the degree that a lot of people were saying they're trying to phase out the X-Men for the Inhumans. They were just trying to build up the Inhumans more. But I thought that was interesting that a creator finally came out and said this is what was actually happening, that there was mandated Inhuman storyline in regards to the X-Men. I thought that was interesting.
Yes, he has talked about in the past. He hasn't never said it this specifically, but for years since he's left Marvel, he's talked about how the editors always got in the way of him telling the story he wanted to tell, and he never went into details. But he is very vocal about he hates Marvel and he hates DC. He was just asked like, "Hey, Hickman's doing this big thing. Would you ever come back?" And he's like, "Never. I absolutely would never go back because there is something so special about writing your own song instead of telling someone else's singing someone else's song." And I agree with that 100%. I still think he wrote maybe the best X-Men story ever written with Uncanny X-Force. That is a seminal run that everybody loves. He was also offered the entire X run before Hickman was, and he turned it down. And I respect that so much. As much as Hickman's a very cynical writer. I know, Brandon, the stuff I've read, I've given to you to read of his is not always landed 100% because he is a very glass half empty kind of person.
You mean Remender?
That's what I said. Remender.
No, you said Hickman.
Did I say Hickman? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Remender, yes. Remender's a very cynical type writer, but he gets to the core of emotions. That's why I like him a lot.
And I like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't want his cynicalness to take over the entire run because that's been all of X-Men for a long time is them just getting killed a lot. And he's good at that, but I don't want more of that.
He did Uncanny Avengers, right?
Yes, that book is very divisive. I like that book a lot.
Yeah, I like that book. I had a good time.
The Apocalypse Twins, dude, like Rogue and like, man, yeah, that book's awesome. Daniel Acuna does the art.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that book. I like Remender. I like a lot of his stuff. But you're right. He does get a little too cynical for me sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Was he offered before Hickman? Like, was he offered like a while ago, or was it like we asked Remender first and then we asked Hickman?
Well, Hickman has been working on this for years. So Hickman, damn it, Remender was probably asked before Hickman at the same time. Because Rick has been gone from the company and they wanted to bring him in just like Hickman left the company. But Hickman is like, you let me do what I want and I will come back. And I don't think they had the same deal with Remender, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
It is or they might have, and he just said, I don't believe you.
Or his idea was too extreme and they didn't want to go that way. Yeah. I love what Hickman's doing. Like, this is such an interesting approach. Like Remender would never have done something like this. Yeah. Which is they're different people. It's cool.
So in all this news, Dark Horse has announced that there is a new comic book coming out from God of War. Real quickly though, it's not the only thing. God of War, Dark Horse is publishing a book called God of War Lore and Histories, I think it's called, which is basically Atreus' journal.
All right.
So it's just publishing Atreus' journal, which I think is really cool.
That's cool.
But God of War Fallen God, written by Chris Robertson and with art by Tony Parker, out June 24th, maybe. God of War Fallen God follows Kratos after conquering Zeus and thwarting Athena. Believing himself to be finally free of his bondage, he sets sail for the desert in an attempt to distance himself from his home and his shame, only to find his rage and guilt follow close behind. Kratos rages against the one foe that has proven to be unconquerable, himself. But a war against oneself is unwinnable and only invites madness. So this is just after God of War 3 and leading into God of War 4, which I think is cool.
That's a good creative team. That is a good creative too. I like Chris Robertson. Yeah, I like him. It's always this way with like tie-in books. Like it's a tie-in. If it was important, it'd be in the game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, I want this to be good. I'll wait for the reviews to pick it up. To be honest,
they did the last God of War story. I picked it up in trade. I have not had a chance to read it yet, so I can't say if it was good or not. Mm-hmm. But I am interested in the story of between the two God of War games.
Yeah, I'm definitely more interested in like how he becomes Norse daddy.
Yeah.
So I'm
Ben yawned and it made his mic crackle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I forget which side my microphone is on. I'm like, is it this way? Is it that way? I don't know.
It's on your left.
All right, Sam Wilson.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Solar Opposites is the only trailer that came out this week. This is Justin Roiland's new show.
You son of a bee sting! You forgot the best news of the week.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got one other news,
bro. So Nier, the first
it happened last night.
So the first Nier is getting remastered. The first Nier is getting remastered for the PS4 and Xbox One, and Nier Automata is coming to Game Pass next week.
Oh, that's awesome!
It is extremely awesome. I have not played the first Nier, so as someone who adores Automata, I cannot wait to play that first game.
Also, so this is the sequel to Drakengard.
Yes.
Also, a Nintendo Direct Mini came out this week.
It did.
Not a whole bunch of things. I mean, they straight up said at the very beginning of the Direct saying that, okay, we know COVID-19 is a thing. These games may get pushed back a little bit because people won't be able to pick them up. But for now, these are their release dates. We got some Animal Crossing news. We got some. The next Smash character is going to be a character from ARMS. We don't know exactly who that's going to be yet.
There are so many characters that we want. Who gives a shit about ARMS?
I don't.
Only Nintendo does. They're pushing that game so hard. Nobody likes that game.
No. But
give us like Goku. Give us somebody cool.
I don't know. Give us Sora. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But
give me a Riku skin.
That'd be pretty sweet.
It's actually Cuphead.
It was actually Cuphead.
If it was actually Cuphead and not a freaking Mii Gunner skin, that would be so much better.
How much was it? Like 50 cents or something? What was it?
Yeah, it's like 50 cents.
It's so dumb.
But besides that, a few other games got announced, like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch is coming with a really cool art book.
That game looks dope, dude.
It looks beautiful. Yeah. And also, the Definitive Edition comes with like an extra story, so it adds more to the original game, which is good.
Isn't there a Legend of Dragoon remake happening too?
Panzer Dragoon, yeah.
Panzer Dragoon, dude, that game is so cool. That's like Star Fox, but with dragons.
Mm-hmm. Essentially.
Brandon, you would love that game. Imagine Star Fox, but you're on a dragon.
Oh no, I know. And also Ring Fit Adventure. Okay. No, also Fan was telling me because the Ring Fit Adventure also had a huge update yesterday or this week where they added a new mode called, it's kind of like a DDR dancing mode. But of course, one of the big songs is "Jump Up Superstar" from Super Mario Odyssey.
I saw a video of it. It's cute.
Yeah, both of us played that last night when we did our Ring Fit workout. It's actually really fun.
That's awesome. I love that Ring Fit is actually really good and it's successful.
Yeah.
Because like it's only Nintendo puts out these weird things that actually turn out to be okay half the time.
Yeah. So besides that, there's Panzer Dragoon is coming out. Trials of Mana is coming out later this month or later in April, hopefully. But besides that, nothing big to talk about on the Nintendo Direct. Because it was the Nintendo Direct Mini, it wasn't a big one. Oh yeah, and also they had they talked about the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass for the first one, which is Isle of Armor. They talked about there's a new Pokemon in it and all this other stuff, which it looks cool, but I'm actually kind of really over Pokemon Sword.
I expected to play that game way more than I did. I put a couple hours in and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Pokemon.
I don't know if it's just my age or what, but I'm just done with Pokemon.
It's not your age, man. It's the game. They've been making the same game for 25 years.
I feel like
that's what it is.
I'm done with Pokemon. I feel like
them to do something different, please.
Yeah. But anyways, of course, Sword and Shield have their fans, which is good, and the expansion pass looks really cool. I'm definitely probably not going to be putting money into it anytime soon because I want to put my money into Trials of Mana, Final Fantasy VII, and all these other games that are coming out. So,
and the difference is between like people who buy like comics digitally or physically. You can buy a video game digitally; it's the exact same.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is like the highest selling game right now digitally because no one's out there buying it, but we're all playing it.
I just want to remind everyone that right now you could go on the PlayStation Store and you could buy the entire Kingdom Hearts story from the beginning all the way up to
$100 value
for the exact same price as the DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3. The exact same price.
$30.
I know what I'm doing.
Everything.
That is like, in terms of deals, that's like the best video game deal like ever. You get so much shit for $30. You kidding me?
Dude, that is without a doubt the best video game deal ever. I bought these games when they came out, and that's like, if I would have just waited months on it, I could have had everything.
Yeah.
And people were stuck in quarantine, so it's like, I got nothing but time, and Kingdom Hearts is a 30, 40 plus hour game.
Does the Everything collection come with the DLC?
No.
Okay.
But my point being that you get all these games that are much longer in content, even just like Kingdom Hearts 3 itself.
Yeah.
Being in that deal package for that price.
I'm just surprised that's not included in that. I thought it would have been because that came out months ago.
Then it would have been more.
Yeah.
All right, Solar Opposites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like Rick and Morty a whole lot.
Yeah, this is the Justin Roiland. This is co-created by Justin Roiland, who is the co-creator. Sorry, this is created by Justin Roiland, who is the co-creator of Rick and Morty. Dan Harmon is not a part of this one. It is going to be released May 8th on Hulu. And honestly, I already thought it was May, so you know.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely not May, but I'm definitely gonna watch this when it comes out. And it's all episodes. It's not gonna be a week by.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, all episodes streaming.
All episodes.
This was really funny.
It's definitely not May because I haven't seen Justin Timberlake anywhere.
Well, you can't go outside, so you're not going to see him.
It's gonna be who knows.
It's gonna be I don't know.
Justin Roiland is the voice of Rick and Morty, right?
Yes, he does both voices.
Yeah, he's the voice in this one, and you can totally tell.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
It's the same animation style.
Yeah. I am interested in this because I really like the comedic style of Justin Roiland. The main alien guy just seems like an alien Rick to me.
Yeah.
Like very much so. I'm just like, okay.
It almost feels like they should have just committed to this is a spin-off in the Rick and Morty universe about these other characters.
Yeah, as we talked about it before, I wouldn't be surprised if Rick and Morty show up for like half a second later in the season, just to be like, oh, it actually is connected, but like it's not important. Because
Rick just shows up, says something, and then he portal guns out of there.
Yeah, like a background guy.
Well, what's interesting is that it's almost like, you know, if Rick and Morty are kind of him putting on voices, this alien character is just his voice.
Yeah.
So it's like Seth MacFarlane doing Brian. Like it's just his voice.
I don't know if you've heard what Justin Roiland sounds like. He does not sound like that guy.
No, he does not.
No, he has like
he's a much better voice actor than I thought.
No, he kind of actually he sounds more like Morty than anything.
Really, I didn't know. I thought he sounded more like this guy. I've only heard him in one interview. So
he has a much higher pitch than a lower pitch.
Yeah. It looks funny. It looks really good.
Yeah.
A lot of bird deaths.
Yeah, it's definitely got that like sick sense of humor. It's like, hey, like, hope you don't get offended by shit.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all we got for
the one trailer.
Shall we get into our review then?
Oh, I'm so excited! Let's talk about this movie.
Do it.
All right. So as this last week, guys, seem to be the only people who have seen Mulan 2020.
2 weeks in a row. How are we the only people to see these movies?
I don't know. I don't know. So someone's got those Disney connections, and they're like, okay,
we're in LA too. Like people, guys, go to the movies. Like they're still open.
You know what it was? I think it's they knew we were interviewing Mark Guggenheim even before we saw A Quiet Place Part 2, and they're like, we have to get these guys in it. We know they're gonna have at least 27 articles written about them in the next 3 days. Can we please get these movies to them?
Through 9 websites.
Through 9 websites.
Yeah. But anyway, so full spoilers for Mulan 2020.
Yep.
Going forward, this is the latest from Disney's live action remakes. Let's go around the horn. What do we think about this? Initial thoughts, Sparks. You go first.
Yeah, I liked it. It was more or less what I expected. So I went in and I liked it. That's basically best I can give you.
Ryan.
If you guys have seen every other live action remake, then you know what you're getting yourself into. That being said, I'm more positive than negative. but like not a lot.
I'll go next. I felt it was much like Pete's Dragon. Was almost completely different than the source material. Well, not completely different. It was a breath of fresh air to not have to see the exact same story on screen.
I was going to say Pete's Dragon is probably arguably the best of the modern remakes, so I was going to say that's real high praise.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say it's as good as Pete's Dragon, but for me, it might be up there. It's definitely one of my favorites, only because they tried to do something so drastically different.
It's very tonally different, which I really did appreciate.
Yeah. Ben.
Hey, at least this one was like really fun and had a lot of fun action scenes. It wasn't like it definitely was. They tried. You could tell that they tried to be different from the animated film, but it's the animated film, just with a lot less Eddie Murphy. Murphy.
Unfortunately, like with these movies, like you almost know what you're getting into every time. Yeah. And like, I was really hoping for more surprises in this one, and again, like I like this movie, but like I'm just like, you guys had so much opportunity.
Don't get me wrong. The choreography of all the fight scenes is
the fights are the best part. Yeah, I think the fights are the best part. Like, this is the best like Disney fight movie, maybe like What other big Disney movies besides like Star Wars have big action scenes? Like this is like
Avengers? I thought it was the Marvel movies.
Hey guys, Mulan sucks.
I mean, you can tell they tried to make this into like a somewhat a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon source feel with like the crazy fight scenes. Like when you saw the first scene in the movie where this essentially Shang Tsung is attacking the Great Wall and he's trying to it's like shot for shot, but like it's a little stretched out with like cooler fight scenes. But that line with that one actor who goes like, "Now all of China knows you're here," and goes, "Good."
They leaned into the mysticism a little too hard in this movie, which was my biggest fear from the get-go. And because I feel like they couldn't, again, this was my big fear. They couldn't just rely on it being a war movie. They had to make it, we can't have the talking dragon, but we're going to have a witch who transforms into multiple animals? Like, dude, come on.
We're going to have like a crazy dream sequence with the Emperor and the Phoenix, and Mulan's watching the Phoenix fly through.
The whole thing about the witch, I mean, I agree with them. It's like, if you're not going to do Mushu justice, like, look, we had the same thing with Aladdin. Like, if you're not going to do Genie justice, don't do Genie. But you have to do Genie with Aladdin. You don't have to do Mushu with Mulan. Yeah. So you can easily take Mulan. You can easily take Mushu out of Mulan a lot easier than you can with the Genie. With Genie, it works for me. Will Smith is great as the Genie, and he does his own. If you're not going to be able to do the same, find someone who pays tribute to Eddie Murphy while also making it his own. If you're not going to do that, don't do it. You can easily take it out.
Did you guys like the? I guess you call it a cameo of like a guy who was like wearing like dragon pajamas and he was kind of goofy for like I thought that was cute in like a way of like, oh look, that guy's like that's Mushu, but like he's not.
Yeah, it's a nice reference. It's a nice reference.
And then the other side of the street, you see the guy wearing purple ones like the cricket.
Okay, but what I thought was on the nose was how frequently, because I think it's literally 6 times where Mulan's having a moment, and then she looks over and there happens to be a stone dragon.
I will say like the first 2 or 3 times I'm like, that's cute, but then there was one specific like zoom in, I'm like, okay, Mulan.
Where like went out of its way to like prioritize it in the frame.
Like a Sam Raimi, like zoom in. I'm like,
yeah.
We know.
We get it.
There's a stone dragon there. Oh my gosh.
You know what it is? I think they're trying to play off that like thing that ran around on the internet for a while where they said, well, the stone dragon was Mulan the whole time. No, that's a thing because it's a reasonable argument in the animated film where like the framing composition actually illustrates that in all the hardest moments that she makes, there are references visually to the stone dragon statue.
Okay,
and I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, cool. To say that she's the one who's protecting the family and that the spirit of the stone dragon actually the reason that the statue crumbled and everything is because the spirit went with Mulan. And was not Mushu. And that's a reasonable argument, but I think they went too hard on the nose in the live action.
I'd agree with that.
Although, okay, so the montage scene, I knew we weren't going to get any singing, but I did like how they took the music from Make a Man Out of You into the montage scene. That was a good reference without actually
cues, the musical cues, reflections, Make a Man Out of You, like they weave the orchestral versions of those songs so well into the music.
Well, and I think it's still cool that we got Jackie Chan in the chorus doing the Mandarin version of it.
That was cool. Cool. I appreciated the shit about that.
Did they say that in the credits?
Yeah, because he did it for the animated one too, and so he did it for this.
I didn't know that. I didn't.
So for those of you who don't know, Jackie Chan's a really popular pop singer in China, and
Yeah.
he was the voice of General Chang in the Chinese cuts of Mulan, and he does the voice of Make a
super
Man
cool.
Out of You.
He went back and sang "I'll Make a Man Out of You" for, I don't know if, obviously it wasn't for the main cut of the movie, but it was definitely for like the end credit sort of thing.
You know what?
You hear his chorus of him
Oh,
doing it in Mandarin in the montage. Just
Oh
the
yeah,
chorus.
yeah. I was talking about the original animated film.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's got a good voice.
But for this one, hearing him sing in the chorus, I was like, oh.
I didn't know.
So I recently watched The Mask of Zorro, and The Mask of Zorro has something which I miss in movies, which is the pop songs, set to the theme songs at the end of the movie. I think that song's awesome. In this movie, if they wanted to do Donny Osmond and Jackie Chan duo in the credits, I wouldn't have been opposed, but they chose not to.
I'm a little bit country, and I'm a little bit Mandarin.
I really missed the Yao King of the Rock moment.
I
didn't expect him to do it in live action, but it's a good beat.
So here's the thing, like I didn't even think about it. I think the absence of it doesn't bother me because I didn't really think about it because I think the structure of the movie still works without it. It would have been cool, but like I don't think it's necessary.
I'd agree with you if they didn't do the nod to her bathing in the lake, coming out and then saying, I don't want to see a naked man again, and then tons of live action naked butts run past the screen. If we're gonna get that, why can't we get Yao King of the Rock?
Sure.
Well, and that moment does kind of take the tone away from what they're trying to go for. I will wholeheartedly agree with that. I personally, if we're talking about things I missed Mushu on the panda.
So now you want Mushu? Now you want Mushu?
No, I don't. I just miss it.
Yeah, sure.
But like I've always said, if you're going to do these remakes, do something different. Don't do the same thing.
All right. So we need to talk about, go ahead then.
Oh no, because I was gonna say one thing I did like, because you know how in the remember the anime movie where the three guys, Yao, Chen, and oh god, I forget. Genpo and the guys who eventually like make fun of Mulan at first, but they all become best friends at the end of the movie, and they all cross dress and they sneak inside the Imperial Castle.
Yeah,
the way they did that scene in this one, I thought it was really freaking hilarious.
It's really funny,
especially like when Yao is like when you see Yao and he's all like buff and like but you like he's turned effeminate. He's walking by. He's like the hottest of the three, and then that one Mongolian warrior is trying to hit on him, and then he just like punches him straight out.
I think the trailer misjudged the tone of this one. This movie's funny.
It's really odd because it presents itself as like a war movie, but it has like a comedic undertone almost all the way through it, but it feels like a serious movie. So it's like, I find the tone like 80% of the time works. Like I thought like, the like when all of them are cross-dressing going into there, I thought that's really funny, but there's also scenes where stuff like that's happening outside and I don't think it fits the scene that it's in.
They tried to blend a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style action war movie with a Disney animated comedy, and I think for the most part they do find a happy medium, but sometimes they tip one way or the other too far.
For sure.
Oh, sorry, it crossed my mind. Did you guys catch the Easter eggs when the witch and I know his name is not really Shang Tsung, but essentially Shang Tsung are in the tent.
Challenge?
Oh, you mean do you mean the guy who's supposed to be Shan Yu?
Yeah, why am I calling him Shang? Oh wait,
his name in this one is Bori Khan.
Yeah, he's a Khan.
Yeah, okay. When you see the Khan and the witch, and they're looking on maps, and one of the maps, there's like two separate maps. Like they're like, I will control all the world. One has Agrabah, but I noticed it. I can't believe I noticed it, but there's another map that has the Beast's castle.
Look, I didn't like it because I felt like that bit was done better in Aladdin.
Yeah, that's something I want to bring up about. Oh, my finger looks funny doing that. So when we reviewed Aladdin, I think we all agreed that the main character Aladdin wasn't like the best part of the movie. He was kind of almost like left behind a little bit. Do you guys feel that way about Mulan in this? Like, I don't think it's that severe, but I
don't think
it's
so.
Like okay. I thought the other characters had better dialogue and. It's weird. I feel the same thing about Aladdin.
I think her dialogue is stilted, but her acting is good.
Okay,
I think she carries the film fine.
Okay.
I don't blame her for the dialogue feeling stiff.
Yeah.
Like, what she gets into, how'd you guys feel that?
Mulan very fundamentally is a straight man. Sorry, Mulan very fundamentally is a straight man.
Yes,
essentially. Like that's the thing is that like in the anime one it works because there's Mushu for comedy.
Yes,
and she's straight man to that. She has no comedic companion in this other than the trio.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really balance the same.
And they're
because
not in
she
it
does
the whole
so much
time.
solo action on her own, so she's just straight.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
How'd you guys feel about the change to Mulan's character, about her wanting to learn how to fight, but not like so? In the original one, she doesn't know how to fight at all, and then she joins the army, and she's bubbling. Whereas this one, she's like, oh no, she could fight. How'd you guys?
Oh yeah, she was like born to fight.
Yeah, I mean, how'd you guys feel about that?
So I do think it's not done well, but there is a talk that she has with her father about like, oh, I tried to train you when you were young, but you weren't ready. So, but it's like almost like a throwaway line where I'm like, that's an important line.
Yeah,
like she's supposed to know how to fight.
It's kind of a similar change to Beauty and the Beast changing Belle to be the one who likes science.
Yeah.
Like you're giving these characters. What you think you're doing is servicing what should be a quote-unquote strong female character, but you really just take something away from the narrative of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with the choice, but I can see it gets a little haphazard.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I liked Shan Yu in the anime one till I saw this, and I'm like, this guy, Jason Scott Lee's not doing a bad job, but he doesn't carry the gravitas and weight that Shan Yu did.
Wow,
Shan
it sounds
Yu is
like
scary.
You know what this sounds like? Jafar.
Jafar, I know, but I don't think he was doing as bad a job. Like, I don't think he was bad in the role. I don't think the role was given the opportunity to carry the weight of fear that Shan Yu had whenever he appeared on screen. He looked scary, and they took that away to give those elements to the witch, and I didn't like that.
I agree. They kind of make the witch almost like the main bad guy, and he's like the final boss, but he's not in the movie enough to feel like a final boss.
The witch is the one who's pulling the strings.
Yeah, but I did not need the 6.5 minute fight between Bori Khan and Jet Li. I did not need it because I know Jet Li's the Emperor, and that's nice as a cameo, but we didn't need him to fight.
I will say the first like half of the fight's cool, but then they bust out the doors and they continue to fight. I'm like, oh no, this scene should have ended.
That's true.
It felt like the I feel like people exaggerate when they talk about Yoda in Attack of the Clones and he starts fighting.
Yeah.
How dramatic of a shift that is. This felt like that exaggeration where he's the emperor and he's presented as this elder man, and then he's doing crazy.
Oh, he's like jumping.
Tiger moves.
He's like jumping between panels.
Too much because the plot hinges on Mulan being able to go and defend the emperor, and the emperor can defend himself.
He's the boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like it's like, I mean, we do get some good dialogue scenes where he's like, bow to me, and the emperor is just like dropping those classic animated lines of like, I'm not going to move, or no matter how hard the wind,
no matter how much the wind howls, the mountain will not bow.
That's a good delivery. I think it's
stuff like that. And then when he finally when Shan Yu finally just has enough to swings his sword, and he ducks, and he's like, okay, let's do this. And that, like, the first half of that fight scene, I'm like, yeah, kick his ass. And then it's like, can we stop?
I mean, it's like watching Jet Li and Jackie Chan fight in the Forbidden Kingdom. Like it's there for fan service, but it overstays its welcome.
Yes.
At a point.
Yes.
I still don't know how I feel about the what is his name in the anime movie?
I should have rewatched it.
The romance interest in Mulan originally is Shang, right?
Yes.
Shang.
Okay, Li Shang. Okay, the fact that they cut his character in half between being the commander and then also being a love interest character was weird. And I don't know.
I thought they were going to get rid of the love interest character altogether, and I honestly would have preferred
that. But they didn't. I'm going to look up the names again. Yeah. I forget. It's so Chen is the recruit that is Mulan's love interest.
Yeah.
And then it's Commander Tung for the commander, and they're both Li Shang's roles essentially split in two, and they both have their characters halved because
I will be honest, I think the love triangle aspect is my least favorite part of the movie, because it's in the movie enough to be really explored, but it's like, hey, we have to have it. That was kind of in the original movie, right? I'm like, I guess, like, don't even put the romance in if you're not going to really do it.
Well, the thing is, I thought Mulan, the animated one, did the romance perfect because it wasn't at all the focal point. Mm-hmm. Yes, she was attracted to him. Yes, that was a factor of their chemistry with each other, but it was not the focus.
Yes. So I guess that I don't want it more in the movie because I didn't like it that much. So yeah, okay, that works.
I would have liked it better if they took away the romance in the movie. I
Yeah.
felt like they should have.
Just having Mulan, like obviously when Mulan is revealed that she was a woman the whole time, and then being all like, we have to follow the law, but you are a kick-ass fighter. We don't want to lose you, but we have to follow the laws anyway. And then when she comes back and helps them fight, if they didn't throw the love interest in it, but like we have a mutual respect for her, and they like give her a post in the Imperial Army, I would have been fine with that. But it's like, oh no, we get do you want to stay for dinner? Do you want to stay forever? It's like, can we not?
It also makes Chen seem dumb because he spends so many intimate moments with Mulan that at certain points, like, dude, you got to figure out this is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
How have you not put two and two together?
He dumb.
Well, yeah, one of the things about like the animated movie that works well is that you don't need to buy that they don't notice that she's a girl until the reveal is important. And you don't need that in an animated film. You can suspend the disbelief in an animated film far easier than you could in a live action film.
Right.
At a point, you get to a point where you're like, okay, come on.
And in the animated one, Li Shang is always like, he regards her as a friend when he's talking to Mulan and thinks she's the boy soldier. He regards her as a close brotherly friend. Mm-hmm. But in this, when Chen is being close to Mulan, it's intimate.
Yeah.
Even though he thinks that it's a boy. And it's like, okay, so he's homosexual.
It almost would have been funny.
If she's a girl would kind of break his world, right?
Yeah.
But they don't go for that either. It's just in a nebulous of
again
not clear.
If Disney could have done something cool here, and then this, of course, they don't do it. Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Disney's gonna Disney.
Disney's gonna Disney.
Is that from Lindsay Ellis's video?
Maybe.
Is it?
Sounds very.
It might.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much more I have to say about this one.
I just the trailers, even though I wasn't like the biggest fan of that first trailer, the second one won me over more. I really thought this might have been actually a different take, but it really just felt again like an Aladdin, which is not bad, but it's just not like, guys, the opportunity was there to make something really amazing.
But that's the problem with these live action remakes. Like, they have the potential to do something really amazing, and they always stop just short.
They're always kind of safe.
Yeah. That's why I like Pete's Dragon so much. Is Pete's Dragon, it isn't beholden to its original source material. They can do something so completely different that they made something new, and they made something different, and they made something good.
Yeah.
I did like all the extras being like real people for all the army scenes. That
they
really
spent
does.
Money.
You feel like those battles are real. When it has the big clash at the mountain pass, it feels very visceral, very true.
Yo, that avalanche was great.
Yeah, it is.
The choreography is great, and giving it that extra weight of real people. I like CGI battles as much as the next person, but having that weight of real people gives it that extra texture that I appreciated.
And what I was going to say is that it's when the witch interferes in the mountain pass that ruins it for me, because she shows up as mostly CGI with the falcon bit, and I'm like, everything is real, and I'm in the moment, and you are pulling me out of it.
Yes, I will say there is one really nice long tracking shot of the eagle, hawk eagle, whatever she is.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-minute shot of her just like weaving and like biting people, and it's like going from place to place, getting all the way back to Khan or whatever his name is. That's a really impressive shot. Almost entirely unnecessary for the movie, maybe, but it's a nice shot at least.
Yeah.
I have to say with unlike the other live action remakes like The Lion King and Beauty and the
Better than
Beast.
Lion King.
Oh no! I was gonna say with Mulan, I didn't necessarily felt the padding as much as I did those other films.
Yeah, I get that.
Because this is a 2-hour and some change movie where the animated one's an hour and a half. Whereas like Lion King, I felt the padding. I hated it. In Mulan, the padding was the fight scenes, and I was entertained by those fight scenes. I was fine watching. I was like, yeah, give me more of this, please. Whereas the other films, I'm like, you don't have to do all this. Why?
I agree with you overall, except for the padding related to the witch, because I have no idea what her motivation ultimately was.
Yeah.
She's just
power.
She's just kind of a Power Rangers bad guy.
I want power.
But the film is really colorful, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
The color palette is really great in this one.
Mulan's parents are great. I meant to talk about Mulan's parents. Her parents are great. The whole opening with her family is really good.
Yeah, her dad specifically like almost steals the show. He's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did want to say that I'm in the camp. I like Beauty and the Beast. I don't feel like it's overly padded, unlike Lion King, which I do. But I think that this film, it doesn't pad as much as those two movies. It doesn't become a 2.5 hour film from an hour and a half. It only really becomes a 2 hour film. So I appreciated that they showed restraint in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do think them showing Agrabah on a map is a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not obviously it's not a real, like they're not doing a cinematic universe, but it's just a cute little.
I didn't look closely enough, but if Ben's right that Beast Castle is there, I think that's too much.
I didn't see that. I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
It's one of those blink and you miss it. I was just for some reason my eye was just on there, but seeing the Agrabah Castle, it kind of makes sense because if you do go west of China, what are you gonna hit? You're eventually gonna hit the deserts of Arabia. You're eventually gonna hit
the difference. The difference is that Mulan is based on a true folklore.
Yeah.
Possibly history. We don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas Agrabah is completely made up.
Yeah. But of course, it would be nice a little Easter egg just to toss in there. It's like, hey, here's Agrabah, but doesn't mean anything.
Did Mulan have an animated TV series like Hercules and Aladdin?
No. Mulan did not.
I would have liked to have seen one.
Little Mermaid did, Tarzan did,
Emperor's New
Groove. I don't know that
Emperor's New Groove
series would have been good. I don't know what it would have been about.
Would it have been young Mulan or post Mulan?
Probably post Mulan.
Well, we saw that in Mulan 2, and it was all right.
I didn't see it. Oops.
I only saw it once.
Huh.
And the whole time
the only Disney sequel worth watching is Lion King 2.
That's not true.
That is not true. I feel so bad saying that. Aladdin 3, King of Thieves. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I also heard Cinderella 3, Twists and Time is really good.
I still keep hearing that Cinderella 3 is fantastic.
It's on Disney Plus. I've been meaning to watch that damn thing, but I've never had.
You know the plot of Cinderella 3? It totally follows one of the stepsisters, gets the fairy godmother to send her back in time, and she alters the history of events to make her the Cinderella, and then apparently learns a moral lesson.
What?
Yeah.
Time travel?
Yeah, like she gets the wand, and she somehow goes back in time, gets the wand, and changes everything.
I might watch this movie.
Apparently, it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like even Lindsay Ellis says, I think that she likes Cinderella 3.
I hope that Aladdin TV series ends up on Disney Plus soon. I'd like to rewatch that.
Me too.
I think real quick. I think the only Disney sequel prequel show that I watched was the Hercules one. Where he's Teen Hercules.
The one that makes no continuity sense.
It ruins continuity.
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
And it crossed over with Aladdin.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Wow. I like those old shows.
Yeah.
Atlantis was supposed to get one, and then it became the movie, and it's awful. The second movie.
Yep, that's true.
All right, shall we rate it?
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what would you rate it?
I would give it a solid 7.5. Yeah. The fight scenes, they're very entertaining. It's beautifully well choreographed, but it's a safe Disney. It's a safe Disney live action remake. It's not just like the other ones. There are definitely things in this one that are 10 times better than Lion King, but I did get some Beauty and the Beast vibes. I did get a few Aladdin vibes, and I was like, I could just go home and watch the original one, the one I grew up and loved, and that everyone apparently from what no one else has seen it, but what I feel like when other people do see this is like the animated version was better. So, I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good. Definitely worth your time, but it's a solid 7.5.
I would agree with the rating. I would also give it a 7.5. However, I think this gives me more to chew on that's different than the animated film. Then I would look at it as a worthy companion.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.5 for me as well. Ryan?
I 100% agree. 7.5. Like, I really, really wanted this movie I really wanted Disney to do something different. And unfortunately, for the most part, we didn't get that. That being said, this is still a quality movie. Like, there's still people who made this movie had a lot of fun. And like the choreography is great. The cat is adorable. What's up, Oreo? I'll give it a 7.5. If you're interested in Mulan, definitely check it out. What does Oreo have to say about it?
Oreo, did you like Mulan?
Strong silent type. All right.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with you guys at a 7.5. I kind of want to give it more because I feel like there were a lot of people like doing good work trying to deliver strong performances. I just don't think the script boosts them enough.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's a lot of weird beats that didn't need to be there. I definitely didn't get on board with the witch, which sucks.
Yeah.
So I know that I was pretty anti it going in, but I tried. I really tried to be open-minded about it. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it was executed well.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get into our book club then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Sparks, it's your book club. Take it away.
It's me. We're talking about Blackwood by Evan Dorkin. And
Veronica Fish and Andy Fish.
Veronica Fish and Andy Fish for the art. And this is Evan Dorkin has also done the Beast of Burden. I talked about this last week. And this somewhat spiritually takes place in the same world as Beast of Burden. He's basically said it's as much true in that world as anything else.
Like a spinoff.
Without having any direct connective tissue. And I thought this was a lot of fun to read. I really enjoy the art in it, and I really like the setup of the story, and the characters resonate really well. And this is all about these kids who are going to an alternative school, and it turns out to actually be about the occult. And a lot of people, like, they described it at one point as, like, half the kids think this is, just, oh yeah, lore, blah, blah. And then there's the other half who, like, can actually learn about magic shit. And we find out that the four main characters we've been following were recruited because they've had experiences in their past that relate to them being able to connect to the occult.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. What'd you guys think?
I love this book.
Nice.
Yeah, I really liked it. In the beginning, I was kind of like, we weren't getting a lot of character stuff, and so I was like, oh, how can you wrap this up in 4 issues? Because it is a 4-issue miniseries. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay, we're getting a lot of plot, but we're not getting a lot of character development. But that was made up for by the end of the series, and I was really into it by the end.
Yeah, at first I was bummed. Okay, not bummed, but I wanted to know more about the 4 characters, like what exactly happened to them. We get a little bit, especially with Ren Valentine, how she said that she saw all her friends die in front of her. But then when we got to the other characters, like, I don't know what exactly happened to Reiko. I don't know what happened to Dennis. I don't know what happened to any of them, to any of the other 3 that caused it. Like, we get little snippets in those variant covers at the end of each thing where it's like a cool variant cover, like it's like a silhouette of their head, but it's all different. Like, you see, but it's so, if I were to give this book one, if I were to give this book one demerit, it would be that I didn't really connect to the 4 characters that we follow. If I were to give this book one demerit in that regard, it's that, because I wanted to know what happened to all 4 of them.
Sure.
I would have liked to have seen, I agree with you, Ben. I would have liked to have seen more backstory with these characters, but that's the issue with having it as a 4-issue miniseries and not an ongoing series.
Yeah, now that being said, what I did read was really good, and I got major Doom vibes from it. Like, there are times I'm reading this, I'm thinking, one of these people just needs to put on the Doomslayer armor and just, like, start shooting bugs out of the sky or something.
I was getting, like, lots of vibes from I got my, like, Lock and Key vibes very hard. Very hard, which is not a bad thing. Like, that's my jam. And this leans into the Lovecraft stuff super hard, so I love that shit. Giant tentacles coming out of dudes' backs, that's my shit. God.
Or the fact that the headmaster was the same headmaster for hundreds and hundreds of years. They just, like, put empty gravestones just to throw people off.
Right.
No joke. I love this book a lot. My favorite panel, and if you guys know my tattoos, you know why I love this panel. But this is my favorite panel, and it's the final page. It's when
the skeletons
after the villains. Who, let me tell you, the thing I like most about this book is the villains don't end up being the villains at the end. It's all like, hey, you were dead, so I tried to do this thing. Oh, but I thought you were dead, so I did this thing. And then they actually, like, they stop themselves from being bad guys, and I love that. I love that.
But they kind of do and they kind of don't, because, like, both of them end up doing extreme things.
Yes.
With the misunderstanding of knowing what happened to the other.
Yes.
Because she thinks he was drowned by the kids.
Yes.
And he thinks that she is dead and that he buried her.
It's
and he's
all
got to
misunderstandings.
apologize for the Book of Despair. And she ends up, like, killing many people.
Yep.
And he ends up cursing others.
Yep.
And it's like, you gotta undo the curse. And he's like, nope, sorry, I'm dead.
It's like, what curse? I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, you son of a bitch, you know exactly what you did.
The artwork is incredible. The design of the headmaster at the end of the book is haunting.
His name is, like, Ogden, but I kept calling him Ogdo.
He goes by Ogden, but he's really Blackwood.
Yeah, the original headmaster guy. Yeah.
I thought that was a good wrinkle. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. I thought that was really cool. But
I caught that Grace was the bug lady.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
immediately.
definitely. Yeah. I had a feeling.
I really did like Ren and Reiko. I especially how Reiko, like, she just pays attention, and because she pays attention, everyone's like, "See, she's a witch. She's into this shit." And she's like, "No, I just am looking.
I just look.
Yeah,
I'm just an idiot."
But there's a couple of things that I want to know more about where she comes from, because whenever she's the only one
want to know more based off that variant.
We see a whole lot more about we see only she has reflection in like mirrors and things like that the art highlights. And one time when we see her in front of a mirror, there is a haunting image of a Japanese woman staring at her. And I want to know more about where that came from. That was just just a nothing, or is that part of her past?
Yeah, I caught that too.
What's the kid with the eye patch's name? You remember?
Oh, I forgot his name.
Anybody? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The dude has an eye patch, right? And he sees things, but he can't really explain it.
Death vision.
And then someone he has death perception.
Yeah. Perception.
Death perception with the dude with the eye patch. Steven, yeah. He sees dead people. And that is such a cool. Every one of these guys has like this minuscule type of magic that they don't know how to use. Like Reiko just like pull things out of midair and just like nobody knows how they're doing this. They're just like, I just do it. It's
or
weird.
Even with Dennis, because he said he was cursed too, and then we don't know what happened because he died in issue 2.
That was rough, man.
Yeah, I'd really like to know what that original curse was. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Ben. The only thing I have an issue with the comics is that we don't get a lot of backstory with these characters.
Yeah, which of course it's only 4 issues. That's that you can only cram so much into 4 issues. I understand it. I don't think this is a bad book because of that. I just would have liked a lot more. And also maybe Dennis not dying at the end of issue 2.
See, that's kind of what I would actually put that as a positive. Like, I'm looking at this book and I like this book. I would like it more with the backstory. So it's not like I dislike it because it's not there. I want to know more about this because I'm engaged.
I think yes, it doesn't give you a lot, but I do think there are small dialogue snippets that give you just enough. For me, just enough so I kind of understand the core of who that character is.
Right.
Especially with with Ren. She has a line where she's like, somebody's like, you only live once, and she's like, you don't know that. And like, Ren, is this your second life? Are you undead? Like, we don't know what's going on with anyone, but I think the nuggets are there that makes you interested.
She even said Ren is the white-haired girl, right?
Yes.
She says she's the only one who has a close enough to a fleshed-out background where it's like, I watched all my friends die.
Yeah. Right.
And then I was in a coma. So, like, I got a lot more of her than I did with anyone else. And I just would like more of everyone. I
really like her main character. I would argue that she's kind of poised to be, like, the primary of the 4.
Yeah.
Really what becomes the 3. But I really do think that having the variant covers at the end helps to just kind of give you the proper tease, because like just from looking at Ren's, and it really does help for you to look at these variant covers, like looking at Ren's, you just see I can't do this with the webcam, but like you see a house burning with people inside on Halloween, or at least what appears to be Halloween.
Yeah,
and that fills out an idea of it. Reiko's is bomb and killer, and it looks like it has to do with like some kind of magic stage show. And there's a lot of Japanese.
It's the mask that they're wearing at the end of the exactly issue 6.
I love that they're intelligent. They feel like actual, like not like really smart, but like competent.
They feel like adequate young people,
characters who are paying attention to what's happening to them.
There's other things that I would like to see going forward in the story, because I know there's a new miniseries out right now.
There is.
Yeah, I would like to see kind of more fleshed out. Like, are there other students? We know there's those other 4 students, but we don't see them a lot throughout the book. I would like to know where they came from. What are they doing there? If this is a school, how big is the school? Like, I would like more fleshed out about like this kind of like area, not necessarily the world, but like this area.
If you guys remember when we did Beasts of Burden was a collection of a bunch of smaller stories, and so you can kind of see how over time Dorkin likes to build out the world.
Yeah,
and I think this will be much the same. So yes, just last month, the first issue of the next 4-issue series, Morning After, Morning as in Mourning a Death, Morning After, was released. And so, yes, I'm hoping that down the road we are going to get more of that expanded on. He's obviously very passionate about building out more of this world. It's one of the reasons why he carried over these ideas from Beasts of Burden to want to do it with people. I really like it. I'm looking forward to reading more of it.
Yeah.
I really, really like the part where they have to deal with the well and Steven gets pulled out and Steven says she wouldn't take me.
Yeah, that was like almost sad. Like it was like a siren song.
I think
art is incredible in that moment with the water as like this ghostly water.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Steven, based on his variant cover, I think he feels responsible for the death of some other people because there's a lot of poison and skeletons on his
skeletons in the closet
on his variant. But
Colby, who is like he's the acting dean. Like
My favorite character.
He put a little post-it note on the scenes like acting professor or whatever. I'm like, that's so cute. Like, I don't know how to handle this. This is shit. This is crazy.
There's a lot of times where he's just like, of course we're here right now.
Yeah, and I feel like the comedy never goes too big.
No,
it's always like situation appropriate. Like it's kind of funny how when Blackwood and Grace are being consumed by the bugs, they're staying there and they're like, oh god,
yeah,
and then they turn away and then it immediately becomes sad again.
Yeah,
it doesn't play into its laughter of the moment too hard.
Yeah, because like they're like, you gotta undo this curse, and he's like, oops, I'm dead.
Yeah,
and then she's like,
so she has been trying to summon this giant bug god, and I like the idea that even gods have gods. So like, there's this giant bug god that's coming through.
Even gods have gods? Did you mean even bugs have gods?
No, it's even gods.
In the beginning, they say even gods have gods, and I thought that was really cool. Which they don't really dive into too much in this, but the bug god is coming through, and they're just like, you can't just say, "Oops, sorry, I summoned you." You have to sacrifice, and so we're going to be the sacrifice, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I mean. Like, yes, they are the villains of the story, but they recognize what they've done, and they correct it.
Yeah.
Even though it's like bad things have happened, like I like that they don't end as the villains. They're like, we can fix this ourselves.
The two-headed mummy chimp.
Oh, it's so
yeah,
great.
That was weird.
That's
great.
awesome.
I love it.
The acting dean is my favorite character. His just kind of attitude of like, I don't want this job. I don't want to. Why'd you curse me? I don't want to be cursed. And like people are just like, he just cursed all of us. Like he cursed you, right?
Yeah.
He cursed all of us. No, you.
No.
Stop saying us. It's you. He cursed you.
He said thee.
That's Bible talk, man.
That was a lot of fun.
Hey guys, our TV went out. If you can hear us, we can't see you. I love you.
No, we can hear you. Don't worry.
Just a minute. Hey, we're back.
There it is.
Okay, we're back.
We could hear you just fine.
Good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I like this book a lot.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
I do agree. Like, I could have used more character stuff, but I do think there's enough there that it doesn't bother me. That does more. It makes me want to read more.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it.
Evan Dorkin just released a Marvel's Fantastic Four one-shot. Alex Ross did the cover for it.
The Marvel Fantastic Four snapshot.
Snapshot. There you go. Yeah. So Evan Dorkin's writing Marvel stuff.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Ben, it's your book club next week.
Yes, it is.
Do you know what it is?
I don't know. I have to double because I'm tied between two books right now. I'm just gonna flip through them and see which one from my poll
Let us know.
or from my pile, really.
Stay tuned for our Instagram, and we'll put that up there.
Ben, are these books maybe some of us have already read?
Maybe.
Okay.
I know one of them. I know Brandon's read one of them.
Okay.
What are they?
It's between either The Legend of Vox Machina or Justice League Volume 1. Scott Snyder's Justice League Volume 1.
Oh, yeah, so I've read The Legends of Vox Machina.
Yeah, he's never read Justice League ever.
Not my favorite Justice League run in the last couple of years, certainly not. All right, so as we said up top, Mark Guggenheim interview is up now. You can read it. You can read it in pieces on CBR and for 27 articles. No, I'm kidding. You can listen to it up now on our feed. It's really great. It was a lot of fun to do. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. I hope you guys all enjoy it. Next week, New Mutants.
Finally,
New Mutants, people.
It's happening. Give me that juice.
Finally, the final nail in the coffin of the Fox X-Men franchise. New Mutants, after being delayed twice, is finally coming to theaters.
Every beginning has an end.
So stay tuned for that. You guys, if you guys are starved for content right now, we know you are. You can check us out on YouTube. We have a YouTube page where we have tons of content. We have put up 9 of the Star Trek Picard Fake Nerds Watch. 10 goes up relatively soon. I'm assuming, Sparks. I don't want to put too much pressure on.
Nope, not for a month.
Okay, not for a month.
Yeah,
Wait a whole month.
Yeah, actually, like I shouldn't use his computer. I didn't wipe it down. Like his computer is like they're very sick.
We have that we've Michael Carls and I, Downright Nerdy, have been doing our Fake Nerds rewatch let's put after show. That's the one of the Star Trek Picard. It's been a lot of fun to do it with him. We talked about a little bit more about if we want to keep going with other Star Trek shows, so we'll definitely stay tuned for that. It's a little bittersweet to see it end, but the final episode has been recorded. There's no more Star Trek Picard. So definitely check that one out. That last episode. Basement Arcade. Sonic Mania is on hiatus during this quarantine. I've heard.
Yep. I don't want to go near Ben. He's a sick boy.
You know what? I don't want to get you. I don't want to get you guys affected either. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
But we have other Basement Arcades that we've had in the pipeline. Mortal Kombat 9 has finally come out.
Challenges have happened. Yes.
So that's really exciting. So check out the first episode of our however many weeks we did it.
It's 14 episodes.
14 episodes.
So 14 weeks.
We'll be okay for a while.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 9, where all four of us go through Mortal Kombat 9. It was a lot of fun to do. Hope you guys enjoy it. We are a Funko affiliate. You can click the link in the description to buy some Funko Pops. There's some exclusive Funko Pops being coming out for WonderCon for ECCC. So definitely check those out. Shop 10 for 10% off your purchase. Use promo code. We have a Patreon. We have a TeePublic. All the links in the description for there. Now that we have a patron, thank you, Joey Zahn.
I love you, Joey.
I will be putting up more stuff on our Patreon.
Joey Zahn put up a Fake Nerds poster in his Animal Crossing house. Thank you, Joey. I love you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, it's great.
So thank you there. And you can find all those links in the description below. Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate your listening. And if you're watching this on the live stream or the replay, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate all of you guys. If you came from the CBR articles, hey, welcome.
Watch us
angry as CBR.
Watch us in 27-part increments, though.
You got to stop us soon. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci for our interim music and our themes. Hopefully more collaborations during in this time. You can find him on Instagram at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. You can find a show, Suburban Proctologist, which he's still plugging away on. You can find that on iTunes, Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official, Instagram at SubProc Podcast. Mike Matola. Mike, you're great. We love you. Find him on Instagram, Twitter, all at Mike Matola. Obviously not seeing him during this quarantine, but hey, hopefully we see you soon.
Wait, man, we could. Oh, what if we did like one of these with the movie trivia challenge?
He is doing a new print. I'll talk to him. Subscribe. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at BenMagna27. You can also find me writing for OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. Newest articles should be up either tonight or tomorrow.
Your latest article from last week is in the description below.
Rad.
Hey.
Ryan?
Hey, I'm DJ Tony Snark everywhere. I'm on Twitter a whole lot talking about X-Men and Animal Crossing. I've also been streaming almost every day because I got nothing else to do. So come watch me build a town. It's a lot of fun. DJ Tony Snark 616.
Sparks?
You can find me on long walks from the kitchen to the bedroom at Sparks on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
Subscribe to us
I was going to be doing some bar hopping today. Since I drank a little bit here in my bedroom, I'm going to be going to the next bar, which is my kitchen.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Until next week, guys. Stay fake nerds.